Hello! Welcome to the second episode of The Sovereign Sacrifice, a Call of Cthulhu Gaslight actual play written by me, Chris Lofts, and hosted by the Illusion Horror and Con YouTube channel. I will be your host this evening, your purveyor of terror, your author of nightmares, and of course, your keeper of arcane lore. For those of you who are viewing this stream for the very first time, we're using Chaosium's 3rd edition Cthulhu by Gaslight rule set and some slight updates and modifications to fit the narrative. While I am going to give a recap of events, if you haven't watched the first episode, you may want to watch it before seeing tonight's episode if you want to learn more about the details of the story, or of our story. Just a reminder, this is a horror role-playing game, actual play, which means that certain topics might be disturbing, or not suitable for a younger audience. They're sometimes disturbing just for me too. Anyhow, just making you aware. So, any depiction of names, locations, and persons is purely fictional, and any resemblance with anyone either living or dead is purely coincidental. Also, when it comes to horror role-playing, we like to be safe around here, so we actually have already covered any lines and veils the players may have, and we'll be using the X card if it becomes necessary. If you're unfamiliar with the Illusion and Horror Con, it's a 3-day virtual tabletop playing event. Focuses on horror genre. It takes place the first weekend of every December. There's links for it down at the bottom. Go check them out. Trust me, you'll love it. Go join. So, and finally, I'd like to send out a huge thanks to Sirenscape.com for their awesome sound effects and music. Plus, I'd like to thank YouTube streamers Rest for the Wicked, Jesse Amon, the Montana cellist. Yes, there's a cellist in Montana. And let's see, composer Graham Plowman from Cthulhu Mythos Music. And finally, Michael Gelfi Studios for their amazing ambiance music. They're amazing. Look for the links down below. Trust me, if you want some good music for your games, go check them out. Okay, so I think it's time that we get started. But before we do, those of you watching, you may want to put us on pause if you're just watching the recording of it, or you may want to hurry. And I want you to go grab your favorite beverage, maybe some tasty snacks, curl up on the couch, relax in your favorite chair, or wherever you're most comfortable, and imagine that you're now sitting in a movie theater. The lights have all gone down, and the screen has flickered to life. So to recap previous events, the setting is England, and it's 1893. We began our story in London, where we saw signs of evil things to come as we watched the Tower of London's ravens all take flight and fly north and do not return. It's a grim portent, as it said that the Kingdom of England and the Tower of London will fall if the resident ravens ever leave the fortress. Our investigators from various parts of the world all traveled to London to attend the annual International Alliance for Psychical Research, or IAPR, Gala and Masquerade Ball, which is scheduled to take place tomorrow night, Halloween night. But before that, they have been invited to attend a dinner party in their honor at Bamford Manor, home of Sir Richard Bamford, MD, who is the chairman of the London Society for Psychical Research, and he's also one of the biggest supporters of the International Alliance's whole thing. I mean, he definitely is a big part of it. However, a few of our investigators, while they're on their way to try to get to London, namely Margaret Playfair, Dr. Frederick Finlay, and Lennox Moran, while traveling by ship, find themselves in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, watching in abject horror as the luxurious RMS Campania, Cunard Shipping Line's pinnacle of opulence, sink below the waves and into the terrible deep. Fortunately, they were eventually saved and found their way to London and made it their way to the Savoy Hotel, but not without acutely feeling the truth that is their own mortality and how quickly they could have all gone down with that ship. We next watch as the investigators traveled by train across the English heartland and into the lush green fields of the Cotswolds, eventually arriving at Bamford Manor, just a few miles north of the village Bourton on the Water. While aboard the train, various events took place. Most notable, the heiress, Margaret Playfair, had a vision of a terrible death of her friend and confidant, Mother Noah Benwiddle. We also learned of Dr. Finley's appointment for knighthood, for saving the Prince Edward while he was aboard the Campania, heir to the English throne. And then we watched as the doctor became visibly disturbed after he received a note from someone that he hasn't heard from in a while. Barnaby Barnes, his former assistant or manservant, basically telling him, I know you're a liar. In addition, we watched the Dr. Finlay's reaction to seeing the visage of a crying angel above and behind Father Benwiddle, and the angel's angry warning, which was to repent your sins and to kill the Duke. The investigators arrive at Bamford Manor, and finally, once they finally get there, the last of the guests to arrive, after having an elegant dinner, Dr. Bamford takes them on a tour of his somewhat disturbing art collection, paintings of angels and demons, the eternal conflict between good and evil. He speaks of hidden abilities, and he knows the investigators all possess them. How does he know? His tour culminates in the showing of a strange and disturbing statue of an Indonesian or Hindu god of death. It is at this point that our investigators stand amazed and in absolute terror as they watch poor Father Noah Benwiddle, seemingly out of his mind, begin to speak with a guttural voice, and one that was clearly not his own. And as if by magic, they watch as his entire body catches fire and burns him to death. All the while, Dr. Bamford just looks on with kind of a wry smile on his face, sipping his brandy and smoking his cigar. Stunned by the doctor's reaction, the investigators confront and eventually tackle and chemically subdue Richard by drugging him with morphine. His own son did this to him. While at the same time, Lennox Morgan manages to fast talk his way out of a possibly even more trouble as the Gloucestershire Constabulary, sorry, I have a hard time saying that word, having been called by the butler, pounded on the front door to investigate, and luckily for all, Lennox was able to send the constables away. And that is where we left our investigators, all standing around the somewhat beaten, slightly bruised, little bloody, very, very drugged Dr. Richard Bamford, sitting in a parlor chair, all standing in complete amazement, asking themselves, what in God's name just happened? And that is where the scene opens up. We see this scene. So, what do you folks do?
I think Lennox, first of all, goes over and takes a drink and starts offering drinks for the attending.
I definitely am in need of one. This was dire. But I really had grown to like Father No. A trusted friend, or so I thought. What just happened? I mean, I'm still reeling from the loss of my. It's still, I think, easy to say that this is the worst.
Well, at least we
So
don't...
yeah, all the drinks, please. I knocked back one.
Lennox is probably just like listening over to this, like in one ear, out the other. Yeah, just starts going to everyone, and I think he just takes a brief look at kind of everyone as he's pouring them a drink, just to get an idea of how they feel.
Well, as you're going around pouring everyone a drink, you notice that you got to 4 people. But then you realize Eric Lauritsen is not here.
Did our friend go to the bathroom, or? I thought he was just...
Oh wait, he was here just a few minutes ago. We went upstairs and found this book. Where'd he go?
He was with you? But I see him not.
He was with you, with the doctor. They went upstairs. They came down here to the room where Dr. Bamford was, and then...
Yes. I'll have a quick look around. Just give me a moment. And I
Maybe he
believe
forgot
that
something upstairs.
maybe yes, miss. Maybe he's still upstairs. I'll be right back. And Dr. Finley will climb the staircase and check the rooms upstairs. Check the room upstairs where we found the book.
Okay. So I'm just sorry. I'm trying to get the map. Oh, there it is. Oh, apologies. Okay, so I think you should see the ground floor by now.
Mhm.
And we're going to have the second floor.
Right.
So
I believe it was the room on the top right corner, right?
that is
The map.
correct. Mm-hmm. So what are you doing? You're going to go up there first, or?
Well, I'm climbing the stairs and heading directly into the room, and
Okay.
at the same time I will probably shout out his name, Eric.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. You don't see him anywhere. He's not in here.
Now wait a minute. Who had the book?
Well, as you recall, it was actually Johannes who had.
Okay, that's good. Right.
Mm.
So there is no one to be seen in the room, right? When I enter the room, there's no one there.
Nope, there is no one there. There's a small fire kind of dying now in the fireplace. It was burning quite bright earlier, but it's now starting to die. Other than that, were you up here whenever he found those books? I don't think you were. Were you?
I think it was me and Eric. We both went upstairs.
So you know exactly where you found him. I believe it was a floorboard there that you found the book and the dagger. So,
Right, this can't be. I'll just. Well, I haven't explored the room. We didn't explore the whole floor, but I'll take a few moments to go and knock or open every door on the floor, and just check if he's anywhere to be seen. And at the same time, I will call out his name.
okay. So you come back out in the hallway, out in front of the study on the second floor. You see there's a stairwell, there's a stairwell and there's an entranceway into what looks to be a billiards room, gaming room. It's on the far right of the building. This room seems to have been used, heavily recently. Like he had a party at some time before here, but there's still, strangely enough, there's still dirty glasses sitting on the tables. There's a few plates with some crumbs of food on it. This seems odd because he does have a servant staff who, they kind of should have probably got this taken care of, but for whatever reason.
Right. I believe I'll take this this mental note, but currently I'm more worried about Eric.
Right. Okay. So, yeah, you come out of there. You basically search the entire top floor, and you get to there's the main fireplace in the center, as you can see right there, and on the other side of it there is another office or kind of a study there. But there in the corner there's another bedroom, and you see that there's a couple of windows there. One of the windows is open, and it looks like you see dirty footprints, mud, just on the inside of the doorway or inside of the window, as if someone either just climbed in, and it's relatively recent because the mud's a little bit wet, and as if someone climbed in and then climbed out. You do find an envelope on the floor. It's kind of crumpled up.
speechless. I'll pick up the crumpled note and unfold it and read it. What does it say?
It's actually not just it's not a note. It's really actually an envelope that was prepared. Yeah, but there's nothing in it. It's all crumpled. You know, you just kind of uncrumple it out and you look at it, and it looks like it's definitely looks like some of the writing that Eric had done. He was previously writing his letters to and this looks like one of those letters, or at least the envelope. There's no actual letter in it. It's just the envelope is kind of crumpled up.
Is it addressed to someone?
To his Alma, I believe is his wife. I think he was.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, right. I'll just take a quick peek through the window. Maybe I can see someone.
Okay.
Down.
So you peer out into the darkness, and it's very, very dark out here. And we're gonna leave you from there, and we're gonna put back over the camera back over on what's going on in the parlor right now. What are the rest of you guys doing? You hear Dr. Finley is thumping around on the floors above, and he's calling out for Eric, but there's been no response, and he's on the other side of the house. You think now, what are you guys doing?
Johannes is gonna go over to Mr. Morgan and give him a very stern look. Mr. Morgan, have we calmed down?
That was never aggressive. I don't know what you're talking about.
Maximilian chimes in. So, have you been here? Have you been actually here? You've been off the wall. I actually quite think you need therapy. Some sort. You should come see me when this is all over.
I just needed some drink, and that's it. I felt a bit dizzy. Maybe it was all the smoke and the food. Yes. I'm not very used to the English food.
Do you sometimes feel like you're not yourself?
Aren't you?
He pulls out a notepad and starts writing. And do you have, when you feel not yourself, is there another name for that person? Please do tell.
I think Lennox will just move forward and look at him equally.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't think we have time for this. Now.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I do believe you're right. We need to look for what is his name? Is it Eric, right? Eric. So I know I saw him earlier. He was kind of helping us get my father in the chair there, and look at him. And Dr. Bamford just kind of his eyes are, he's kind of coming to at this point. So what are you guys doing?
I'm staring at the floor and into my rapidly emptying drink glass and muttering, "Oh, poor father, but that was horrible. That was so horrible." I'm just really out of it.
Okay. So, Johannes, what are you doing in particular? Anything?
Johannes would be waiting for the doctor to come too. Would be not moving too far away from him because other people start climbing out of windows and disappearing. I don't want that one to get away.
I get it. I understand. So, you can see that the good doctor is actually starting to come to, although he's definitely not, 100% yet, not even remotely. He's just kind of groggy and looking up and around. And Margaret, you said you're just kind of out of sorts. Lennox, anything specific you're doing?
I think he's, as he's kind of walked around, and I think it takes a moment for him to kind of realize that Father Noah is still on the ground. And he kind of turns over to Johannes and he kind of looks at him and is like, "Does nobody want to help up the good father? Is he passed out drunk again?"
Oh, I go into a fit at that. Did you just
Oh
not,
my.
did you not really?
What
Do
did
you not
what,
remember, Mr. Morgan,
what did I do
what
now?
just had happened?
What I yes, I do. He clearly does not. Um, I yes, I do. How could I? He kind of just like tries to kick Father Noah like gently like on the feet or somewhere like he like.
Well,
Okay,
you're not
yeah.
anywhere near him at the moment.
Okay.
You're not anywhere near him at the moment. You're actually in the parlor room, which is on the other side of the building. He's over. If we look at the
Oh right.
at the ground floor, he's actually
On the other side.
Um,
Yeah.
yes. He's like in a hallway over here. Where well, actually no. I take that back.
No, I thought
You're
it was,
absolutely
it
no.
was closer.
Yeah. Yeah, he
That's
was
why-
back in the parlor room. But yeah, that's right. So he is there. He's literally just still smoldering. The smell is god awful. So
Yeah.
he's there.
I think I'll start to sweat a bit. Look at the others confused, same as they probably look at me, and then just kind of gently step back and say, "I'll just check on the doctor. He seems to be taking his time," and then quickly turns around and kind of rushes
Okay.
up the stairs.
So after Lennox leaves, Max kind of turns to everyone. He's holding a brandy in hand, and he looks down at poor Dr. Benwiddle, or Father Benwiddle. We need to cover him, of course, and we'll have to notify the authorities at least at some point. He should be accorded all the necessary arrangements for his proper burial, in the Catholic fashion, of course. Though we don't see it as much here in the UK, but there are still Catholics around. So,
Max, I'm sorry. I hope this doesn't sound awfully weird. Do you think it's possible? Just when we were on the train on the way here, I had this strange dream, nightmare.
he snaps out his notebook, pulls out a pencil.
Premonition. It's like I saw this coming.
Really? So, are you saying that you can see the future?
I wouldn't go that far, and this certainly was the clearest that I've ever. I mean, it's still so fresh, and I can't say I've quite grasped what happened here. It's, but I just. Well, I never even got around to talk to him about it. Could I have warned him? Could I have stopped it? It was just.
Well, how would you know? I mean, has this ever happened to you before?
Oh, not quite like this. I guess. Well, actually, when my brother drowned, and a few years. I mean, quite a few years ago, when my parents. Yes, I think they're just always portents of death.
I see. Well, this is something to take note of. Clearly, if you really saw his death.
Well, I saw him burn, and I heard this evil voice, and I mean, this was the first time that. Well, I was actually present for the death, as opposed to just being faced with the news of an accident or something, and a bit later. I mean,
So what you're saying is that the ability seems to have heightened. You seem to be more attuned, would you say?
oh, if you put it that way, why? I guess you could say that.
Well,
Yes.
well, maybe it might be something for you to. I don't know whether I should call this a gift or a curse. Whatever the case is, we should, and then, Richard's just. He looks over to you, Margaret. Oh, Margaret, so good to see you. What's going on? What is that smell? Looks a Maximilian. Get me a tonic. You know, the one I usually have. Max rolls his eyes, rolls over, walks over to his tonic is a drink of hard whiskey. And he brings it over. He takes a sip. So someone, please tell me, what's going on?
Dr.
He
Bamford,
doesn't remember either, does he?
you have quite some explaining to do.
Well, okay, well, I'm very well. I understand. However, how did I sit in this chair? How did I? Why is my head fuzzy? I don't know. And we're going to stop there, and we're going to pan up to where Dr. Finley is upstairs at the window. You're peering out into the night. Make a spot hidden, please. First roll of the night.
Right. Do I get a penalty maybe because it's dark, or just a regular?
Actually, I'm just a regular spot hidden. That's all,
Okay.
all we need here. Yeah.
You're too kind. Thank you. Still I failed, but it's not
Okay.
a fumble. It's not a fumble.
Okay, well that's good. So you peer out into the night, and there is some moonlight out, but it's like a quarter moon, and the light is not quite as prominent. You see what appears to be flickering of shadows in the distance, but you really can't make out what it is. It could have been an animal, it could have been a deer, it could have been someone, who knows? But clearly someone had come in this room from outside, and they've climbed up the side of the drain pipe. You can clearly see that that's happened, and it was recent. So it's quite plausible that this someone is still in the house.
Oh, so there are footprints and tracks of someone entering the house, but not leaving the house.
Well, you see both, actually.
Oh, both.
Mm-hmm. Both.
Okay. So you mentioned that I was in that room, and there is also a bedroom. Did I enter the bedroom? Did I check the bedroom or not yet?
That was the last room that you had not checked yet.
Okay. I'm kind of spooked now, so I will carefully, without saying anything, turn the doorknob and take a peek inside the room. Is there anyone in there?
Again, you do see some muddy footprints, but there seems to be no one in here right now.
Oh, so the footprints led into the bedroom.
Well, it's interesting. It's like, you see him, it kind of looks like leading to one direction, and it kind of, you see a couple over here and a couple over there. These might be a little bit older, actually quite a bit older than the ones that you saw just recently. But yeah, clearly the place up here is a mess. It's muddy. It's just nobody has touched anything up here. But again, which is very odd. So That's it at this point. That's all you see up here. Not found Eric.
I will rush downstairs.
Okay.
And go to where the others were.
Okay.
Enter the room, and when I see Dr. Bamford back to his senses, I think I will just walk up to him and just I think I want to grab him by the jacket, maybe lift him up, bring him close to my face, and start yelling at him. What? You bastard! What is this?
Get this man off of me! Maximilian, do something!
I want to slap him in the face.
Okay.
Really hard.
Alright, make a brawl. Not that this needs to be...
Just
it'll be easy enough, but just in case you hit him a little too hard.
Okay. It was a close one, but yes, I think I made my point.
Okay.
Yeah, as this commences, I yell, "Doctor!" He says he doesn't.
What are you saying, Lady Playfair? That he's not aware of his deeds, his actions? Look at Father Noah.
It just appears to. Well.
Listen, he's a member of that society. No. He won't get to trick us again. That's enough. Listen, are you all blind here? We walked into this house. You saw what happened. You saw what happened. You, Lennox. You were mesmerized.
I'm actually upstairs, probably just in a different room when you rushed down. I was looking for you. So.
Well, that Lennox then. He was mesmerized.
You did notice him go rushing downstairs, Lennox, when you were in one of the other rooms.
Yeah.
So you did notice him do that.
But that also gives me time alone upstairs.
Okay, we'll get back to you then. Go ahead.
How are you gonna let this man walk away with what he did? Are you seriously thinking of letting him go?
I have no intention of letting him go.
For God's sakes, I'll have you all in the clink for this. What are you doing to me? Father, just sit tight. There are many things that need answering, many questions.
Yes.
The way that we've tied him up in the chair, can he turn his head? Can he see the remains?
He's not been tied. He's only
just drugged
him. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Well, where we should then, I think.
Well,
possibly, guys.
Yeah.
Johannes, you seem to be the kind of man who knows how to do these things.
If we only had a sailor who does sailor's knots.
No doubt.
Too bad.
Johan, show him the book. He has to explain to us why is that book in his possession?
I present the book. For example, we found this in your possession, so let's start at the beginning.
When you raise up the book, something falls out from one of the pages and falls to the floor.
What is it?
I'm going to let you know as soon as I can pull it up on roll 20. Hold on a second here. Okay, you should be able to see the Diary of Constance Morley.
Who's picking up the note?
That would be Johannes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yes.
Mm-hmm. Now notice that this, when you see this on roll 20, there is 2 pages to it. Just let you know.
Okay. Should we read it out loud?
I would. It would be great if you could, for the viewers or listeners who are listening to this. That would be really nice. If someone wants to do that, whoever.
Disembodied voice from upstairs. Diary of Constance Morley. September 23rd,
Okay.
1692. Father bade me walk with him to town, as hath business at the house of James Pale, blacksmith. It rained. I was very cold. September 25th, 1692. It is hard to ride, as I am unwell. I pray God heal me in his mercy. Father beat me. I know not why. He said I have shamed him and called me a witch. I protest in much earnest that I am not a witch. He beat me again. October 1st, 1692. I saw the devil this night. Whilst gathering firewood, I saw a dark shape off Prospect Hill. It was walking, then stopped, then looked down the hill in my direction. I was well hid behind an oak tree, but I'm certain he knew I was there. Lord have mercy. He had red glowing eyes. Oh dear Lord, please save us. October 11th, 1692. I did not return home, and have made camp in the woods. Father would not understand. I may have found a way to save us from the devil. Tituba knows what to do. October 18th, 1692. Tituba hath given me a spell of binding, and hath showed me the drawing I must place on the ground, and the blood that must be spilled. October 30th, 1692. Five hath been put to the stake, including my sister Elizabeth. I haveth little time, for Reverend Paris made it plain he will root out all who serve the devil, and does not listen to the truth even when spoken to him. Hear now my true account and confession. The devil walks in Salem. He has spoken to me on many nights. I cover mine ears and pray the Lord's Prayer over and over until he stops. There is not much time. I must learn the spell if I'm to save my family. I pray thee, God, give me strength. I must banish him back to hell.
Right. Does that name, Constance, ring a bell to any of us? Maybe people with occult or no?
Actually, this would be a history roll.
History.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This would be history.
Yeah, I'm not very good at history, so
Yeah.
I want to attempt the roll. Okay, but maybe Johannes or Margaret are more
Well,
educated.
I certainly have
Holy
Slayer knowledge.
Mother of God, make Margaret. You and your extremes killing me, man, killing me. All right, so you recognize
Well,
the
I'm
name.
gonna check that history box.
Yes, you are. You actually just, you've literally pulled out your own little notebook. But yeah, you actually had spent much time while you were in the States. You actually spent time in Salem to gather information because it was quite interesting to find out the whole hysteria thing that took place there. And you recognize the name of Constance Morley. She, along with, well, it's from what you saw, it says that she, along with 19 other young ladies, were all put to death, all burnt at the stake. And she was the one that had been one of the original ones that had been accused of being a witch. So she is definitely an actual. This is clearly something that for an archaeologist, this would be, oh my God, gold. You actually have a piece of a diary from someone who was there, of one of the women. So that's impressive. So, yep.
Why, Richard, this is remarkable. What a treasure you have there. Well, A document from the Salem witch trials, from before the witch trials even? This must be worth a fortune. Have you published on this? Does the society know?
Are you asking me or are you asking the doctor?
I'm asking Dr. Bamford.
Ah. I have never seen that before in my life. I don't know what
Careful
that
with
is.
that, Johannes. It's incredibly precious.
You have never seen that book before, you said, and still it was found in your bedroom. You can't lie to us. What do you take us for? Fools? Now speak.
Fine. Show me where you found it. It is not mine. I don't know what it is. I don't know what you are. I brought you here for... Why are you here?
That is a question that you will need to answer. Same as what this is, and I present the silver dagger that we also have.
I don't know what's going on. He kind of stands up. He's staggering, and he's like,
"Can I shove him back down?" When he stands up, I want to shove him back down into the chair.
Okay. Yep, you can do it.
Feel shoving a drug man back down into the chair. You have some explaining to do.
You're like, sorry, I can't help it. Lucy, you got some explaining to do. I gotta throw it in there. I do not know what you mean. I don't know as God is my witness, I don't know what is going on here. I swear to you, if you are all holding me here against my will, I will have you in the noose before you ever leave London.
Can I psychology roll him and not on the noose thing?
Sure you can. Absolutely.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Yeah, he seems to you genuinely disturbed by all of this. Something's going on. And Lennox, are you down? You're upstairs, right? Yeah. So Dr. Finley. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I just want to say all Lennox would want to do while he's upstairs is go to the private chambers, probably to the bedroom, and check over the pillow and collect hairs or in brushes, some of the hairs of Mr. Bamford and his son.
Ooh.
You're creepy. Sorry. It's fine. No, it's good. All right, so you do that.
Come down.
Okay, so as you come down the stairs, you note as you come down to the ground floor, coming out of the dining hall to your right are three men. One's holding a club, another one is holding a pistol, and the other a knife. Where's the doctor if you want to live? One of them says to you. He points his pistol directly at you. Stop where you are. I'll go check in the other room. And you see the one with the club crosses across the foyer, starts to head towards the parlor where the rest are still sitting.
I think I just look him in the eyes, my head slightly tilting, point to my mouth.
Sorry, I missed that.
Exactly. I'm not doing anything. Yeah. I'm just motioning like I'm mute.
Oh, okay. Right. This one's... I'll see if he... You never know. Oh, this one's... what are you saying? You're mute? Well, come over here, sit down. Right there. He points to a spot just outside of the parlor door. Charlie, tie him up. and the other one with the knife comes walking over, and he pulls out a small length of rope.
Okay.
And he goes to tie you. So
Um.
I'm almost thinking we need to do initiative here.
Yeah, because I think the moment he comes close, I'm just kind of as soon as he's like about maybe 2 feet close to me, I'm just gonna very calmly kind of whisper, "I think you might have heard that." Kind of mumble something as if I can speak, so that he leans in closer. And when he does, I'm just gonna bite either his ear off or into his cheek, and give him a good kick in the private crown jewels.
Nice. The private crown jewels. I love that one. All right, so we're gonna start with Dex here. Who's well, never mind. You get to do this free action first. Go ahead and do your. I don't even know how to call it. I guess a brawl. It's gonna have to be brawl.
Would be.
So yeah.
Oh, perfect. Wonderful. Wonderful.
I didn't see it. I'm assuming he destroyed this guy's ear. Probably chewed it off.
No, I got a fumble.
No,
I
it's a
got
fumble. Okay, well,
He kicked himself in the crown jewels.
Yeah, probably by leaning forward, I just stumble over my own feet and kind of just like smack on the ground.
Yeah, so that's literally kind of what happens. You actually lean forward. You don't realize that your right foot, the one that you got your weight on, is only like a quarter of the way on the step. It slips off the edge of the carpet that's on the step, and you come flying forward down the last few steps. Clunk your head. You're a little dazed by this, and you basically hear the laughing behind you, and you feel next your arms being pulled up and strapped up behind you, and your hands are being tied.
Well, at least that made some noise, so...
Yeah,
Exactly.
So,
Do we hear any of this ruckus?
yes, you actually do. You hear this massive ruckus. You hear somebody talking about, go over here, sit down. And now we go by dex. So who has the highest dex?
I assume that will be me.
Well,
Okay.
I have 60 in
60
dex.
as well.
How
Okay.
in the world do I have a 72? When did that happen?
You have a 72 dex? Good God. You're like Ninja Margaret. Okay.
Yeah, I'll have I have a 90, so I guess I go first.
Yeah, okay. So you go first. Okay. Okay, yeah. That's fine. So, what are you doing?
What can I make out from the noises that I hear? That is the most important part. Because from
You
that
know
I will...
that there appear to be more than one people out in the foyer. You hear someone seem to trip and fall and lands pretty hard onto the floor, and a little bit of a laughter, a little chuckle.
And do I hear more like steps coming toward us, or
Roll a listen check for me, please.
I can do that. I fail miserably.
Okay. No, you can't really tell anything like that. You know that there's other people out there, and you're just not sure who. And you know that something.
Okay,
fell,
in that
so-
case, I'll produce a gun
Okay.
and sneak around the corner.
Okay. So looking at the map, those who are listening, they are looking across a major foyer that's in the main portion of Bamford Manor. On each side of the foyer, there's 2 stairwells going up, and they're looking directly across to where there's an entranceway that goes into the main dining room on the other side. To Johansson's right, he sees literally Lennox laying flat face first on the last 3 steps of the stairs. It is kind of just kind of groaning, and a man kind of straddled over the top of him and is tying his wrists with rope. Across the way, Johannes, you see 2 gentlemen making their way from the dining room. One appears to have a knife in hand. The other one has a pistol.
I will put my pistol to the head of the guy who's just tying Lennox up in front of me and be like, would you stop this immediately?
Okay. That's what you're doing. Okay.
Yeah, that was it. I'm not gonna start a shootout if yet.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. So you go forward. When the guy looks up and you put the pistol directly to his forehead. He puts his hands up and he's like, right. Just take it easy, mate. It's all right. You don't need. It's all right. Well, nothing's going on here. We're fine. Yeah, well, you and I are mates. We are, yeah. And so who has the next dex? So I was 90. I think it's gonna be Margaret.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I'm just in shock over that one, but okay.
Yeah, I can't actually remember quite how that happened. I must have rolled like hell. So what I would like to do, I seem to remember that there is still people in the dining room. Both, I presume, are a bunch of footmen. And I'm also thinking the very hungry Russian fellow might be good to get if there's a bunch of
Yeah, it's
ruffians
funny.
in the house.
It's funny. You do remember them being in that room. However, you've not heard from the Russian or anything. You don't hear any other commotion going on in there.
Well, I
So-
rush over to the dining room anyway, just see if
Okay, well,
there's
it would
people
be.
there.
Oh, you really actually can't rush over to the dining room without running into a couple of thugs. That's all there is to it.
Well, so they're not still up the stairs?
No. They're all downstairs. They're downstairs right now. As Lennox was coming down, look at the ground floor map. As Lennox was coming down the stairs on the right-hand side in the foyer there, that's whenever he saw 3 men coming out of the main dining room, one holding a
Oh,
pistol.
sorry, I thought he saw
Yeah.
them coming up. He saw them when he went up.
No,
Sorry.
he was coming back down.
Gotcha now.
Yeah,
Aha.
yeah. So, yeah, going into the dining room is not kind of an option at this point, unless you're.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
So, unlike Johannes, I do not carry firearms inside the house. A fireplace, poker, possibly.
There in the parlor behind you, you're kind of standing at the doorway, seeing all this right now. In the doorway of the parlor on the right hand side, the fireplace is just on the right side of the bearskin rug. Yeah, it does have a poker there. You could grab it.
Yeah, that sounds like a good thing to do. So that's going to be my turn, getting up to my feet and finding something to defend myself with.
Right. So you look over, see what's taking place, and you rush over to the fireplace and manage to pick up a poker and kind of hold it from your hands, getting ready to swing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So who is next? That was 72. 60s. That would be both Dr. Fred Finley and you, Lennox. So, Lennox, I think you're kind of in a bad situation right now. So I'm going to say, Dr. Finley, you're actually going to go first with this.
All right. So before the incident with Lennox, I was ready to do something to Bamford. Well, threatening him a little bit.
Yeah, you were holding him up. You were like,
yes. And then we had Johannes showing him the book and so on, and the whole thing. I think just before the incident outside the room, I got a scalpel for my medical bag, and I whispered to Lady Playfair that it's not me. Just that is not me, and I would place the scalpel next to the left side of the left side of Bamford's neck, and I would say to him that you're a doctor, you know what the carotid artery is. If you don't speak, I will make you bleed to death. Your brain will be empty, will dry up. There will be no blood coming into your brain. And then I assume that this thing happened, so I would realize that I probably think that his henchmen arrived to free him, do something to him. So I would probably stand behind him, have him face the door where the noise is coming from, and still have the scalpel on the side of his neck. And I will tell them to back down if I see them. That's it. I'm not gonna do anything
so
else.
you basically threaten him with your scalpel and give him a little bit of a nick on his neck, making him aware that you mean business. And he kind of straightens up for a moment, and he looks he doesn't move his head, he just looks to the left with his eyes and right. Oh, good doctor. Kind of you to show a spine. Ananatrak spad bethud dolhir diendi. Ananatrak uspad bethud dolhir diendi. Ananatrak uspad bethud dolhir diendi. And you need to make a power check, please.
Oh boy. Okay. I should have slit your throat. Anyway.
Probably.
That's an irregular success. Not a hard or anything fancy, but just a regular success. Regular, yes.
Yeah, you're feeling incredibly sleepy right now. Even with the regular success, you don't fall to the floor completely passed out, but you can't. Everything's hazy. You're just, and you literally kind of stagger back from him.
Can I push it somehow?
Yes.
Maybe
Well,
push
you can
myself into resisting. Maybe think of my late wife and bring her image in my mind and
to help fuel it. Okay.
Yes. What I'm doing it for her. So.
Okay.
Can one spend luck on power rolls?
I think you can on a power roll. You can.
That would only be 4 points. That seems reasonable.
If I need a hard one, sure. But I don't know if our GM would say what I need. So
you need at least a hard.
At least.
So at least a hard.
Is it what's more fun, spending luck or pushing it? I'll push it.
Okay, here we go.
And I got it. 15.
Wow. All right. That is amazing. That is just awesome. Okay, so holy crap. All right, so it's hard success. All right, so regardless of whether you've made the hard success or not, you just have not, what you've done is successfully not passed out cold from what just took place.
Right.
You don't quite understand what even remotely took place in the first place. All you know is you felt energy kind of whomping in and out around your body, and your head began to dizzy. And even though you didn't pass out, you did drop the scalpel and you staggered back a couple of paces.
All right.
And that's where we're going to leave that for you. So, Lennox, you're up next. I know you're still tied, but is there anything that you think you could possibly do? Maybe you tell me what you think you're going to try and do.
I have the guy who's standing above you at bay, so...
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, depends on how far he got tying me up. If it's just a simple kind of knot or something, I'm gonna try to kind of open that one up, or just get up myself, staggering kind of back to Mr. Rika and try to kind of hold my hand.
Yeah, you can. Well, it's hard enough you can get around to a seated position, but trying to stand up with your hands tied behind you is a little difficult.
Yep.
But he didn't get much of a chance to tie it very tight. So I'm going to give you a strength check to see if you can just kind of break out of it, because he didn't get a chance. Before he got to really give it a good knot, he had a pistol put to his forehead. So,
Regular success.
Okay, so yeah, you're like, it manages to the knot loosens and you manage to get yourself out. So I'm going to say that is, I believe, your action at that point.
Sounds fair.
Yeah, and you see one of the assailants, the one that was over at the doorway, still holding a knife in his hand. He runs across the foyer, completely passes you guys over there, standing at the foot of the stairs, and runs into the room and seems to be grabbing Dr. Bamford. And I mean, not in a nice way. Literally grabs him, put his arm behind his back, and yeah, that's kind of where he doesn't have enough time to actually run that far and then get a nice club in, but he looks like he's about to do that. So, the other one looks perplexed. The one with the pistol looks a little perplexed because he pulls his pistol up and he's like, and he goes into the parlor room, runs in, grabs a hold of Richard Bamford, clubs him over the back of the head with the pistol whip, knocks him cold and unconscious. Now hanging between these two men is Dr. Bamford, and it appears that they're literally going to try and drag him out of the room. And that puts us back up to you, Johannes. You're up.
So the other two have just hustled into the room and grabbed the doctor.
It would appear that you didn't actually see it itself, but the guy with the gun had a perfect opportunity to pop you in the back, but he didn't. So,
would they have any chance to get out of the room past what essentially is Lennox, me, and the third thug?
Yeah, do me a favor. I want you to roll. I'm gonna say spot hidden. All right, just a basic spot hidden. It doesn't have to be hard or extreme.
Of course, fail. I've failed every roll so far.
Good God. Okay, so you're trying to picture in your mind. Okay, what was there another entrance or exit out of the parlor? You can't. You're not sure. You've only been to a few portions of this house. You haven't seen the whole thing really. You've only been up into the up to the second floor into the study up there in the right hand corner of the room. That's where you found the book. Beyond that, you've come down. You've been to the hallway out, just out to the north of the dining room, and because you saw all the artwork, and that's kind of like all you know. So, is it possible that they're in there? They could get away with him in that room without? It's possible. You don't know for sure. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
If Lennox seems to be at least freed himself a bit, I'll let him have a tussle with the guy that doesn't seem to be armed, and also move further into the room, pistol race towards the two people who are now holding a limp Dr. Bamford.
Yeah, he's literally knocked out cold.
It seems to be hard to be too fighty when you do that.
Yeah.
Put the doctor back down, and I'll approach them closer with a gun.
As soon as you approach, he's one of them's got the good doctor in one arm here, the other one's on the other side. The other one still has a pistol in his hand, points it directly at you as you come into the room. So we've got a standoff here.
Yeah, I'm perfectly willing to turn this into a standoff.
Okay, so he's like, looks at you. Your choice, mate. We only want the doctor here. You just turn around. You won't need to worry about us at all. We'll be like ghosts in the night. We just disappear.
I think I need to try to shoot this man.
Did the doctor's incantations affect anybody?
Actually, Maximilian is laying on the floor. out cold. Yep.
I've been in earshot, shouldn't I be?
Yeah, actually, you should be making a pow check as well. So, sorry, I should have had you do that, but yeah.
I'm probably out on the floor as well.
In fact, you are.
If I see
You
half
just-
the people out on the floor, then I'm definitely going to shoot, because who's going to deal with all these people?
Okay, so, all right.
And
But
you
I-
don't know why we're on the floor, so you probably think that they
Yeah. Yep.
knocked us out as well.
I do not hit anybody, but I'm totally pretending that that was my intention all along. This is a warning shot.
This is a warning shot. Okay. So you make your warning shot. And the gun goes off. Just missing the head. Just missing his head. The guy just looks like he manages to stay cold and calm. Warning you, mate. Next shot will be right between your eyes. Just turn around and we'll be done. Okay, so that was your action, at least for right now. Right?
Yep. That.
So next person would be Margaret, but she's out like a light. Next person would probably be between Lennox and or Dr. Finley. Dr. Finley. Okay. So Dr. Finley, I'm going to say that Lennox is kind of getting himself together. So I'm going to say that you're up next. But you're, like I said, you're feeling queasy. Any actions you make right now is going to be at disadvantage.
I rolled a hard power roll. Anyway, I'm still conscious, so it doesn't matter. All right. Seeing what just occurred, I will stand up, try to stand up at least, and call out to these people. I will raise my hands, up in the air, and I will tell them, "Wait, we're on the same side here. Don't go, please. Let me explain to you." Do I see any reaction? Can I?
Well, the two guys both of the guys that are holding Dr. Bamford right now are literally focused on the man with the gun because he's the biggest threat right now. So they're not really paying much attention to you at the moment.
What if I stand between them and Johannes?
Okay.
I will walk.
Okay, so you're gonna walk and stand in front of between Johannes and them.
Yeah.
And the guy looks at the one with the gun and is pointing directly at Johannes. You literally walk directly in front of him, and he looks over at his friend. I tried to warn him, and he takes a shot, points at your leg,
Yes.
and hits you squarely in the leg.
Or how much?
That's a good question. Aren't you lucky? Okay, so 2 points. 2 points of
2
damage.
points. Right.
Yeah.
That's all right.
It could have been a lot worse.
Yep. I could have been dead.
All right, so you fall to the floor, and at that instant, as soon as they fire, they bolt to the right, holding and dragging Dr. You know his name. Yeah, Dr. Bamford. Sorry. Yeah. So, Lennox, you're up.
I don't know if you see my message, but
Sorry. Just apologies.
all good. If not, the third guy is still kind of in front of me, right? Because that was kind of the handoff that Rike and I did.
You have the powder, by the way.
Nice.
You got it.
Because then, what I would do is quickly reach into my pocket, and then just tap the guy in front of me on the shoulder, and the moment he turns around, blow a yellow whitish powder into his face.
So Johannes, I'm trying to visualize this a little bit better. So you originally had the pistol trained on the guy's head who was tying up Lennox. He puts his hands up, he steps away, and then you turn from him and go into...
I turned from him and went into the room to face these other two guys.
After I was
hoping that Lennox has got this behind me.
After I was untied.
Right. Okay. So yeah. All right. So yeah, Lennox, you get up, and the guy's just kind of holding his hands up like this, and that's when Johannes turns and goes the other direction, and this is whenever you get your chance to do what you're gonna do.
Yep.
I don't know what you're gonna use. What are you gonna roll for that? How are we gonna roll for that?
It would basically just a dex.
Okay.
Because it's
all right. Go for it.
Direct. Come on, do your job. Yes. Okay.
Okay. What happens?
It basically just, the moment he breathes in, he gets woozy and basically has trouble standing up, and and would just pass out for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, he completely, totally failed his power check. So, yeah, he's like, falls to the floor.
Nice.
Like a ton of bricks. So
yeah,
that was good. That was very good.
With that, I think I'll use the rope and we'll tie him up, because having at least one of those thugs will still give us more than having none of the thugs.
Right.
Yeah, at least somebody to interrogate. This seems pertinent
I think the doctor needs to practice his
anything.
medical skills anyway, so...
Well, one other thing I want you to do is I want you to make a spot hidden.
Spot hidden.
You get advantage on it, so...
I'm just going to roll once again. It's a 33, which would be a regular success.
Okay, so as you're tying this guy that you've sufficiently, totally made him pass out with sleeping powder, you hear coming from the direction of the dining room several sets of footsteps. It's not just one, but it sounds like many. So, just pointing that out.
I think as a short reaction, I would just yell out, "Mr. Rika, I think we get more company."
Okay. You hear that? Well, yeah, you're close enough. He would absolutely hear it. So, yeah. Johannes, I believe you're up. Well, wait a minute. Margaret, what did you... You're up, I think.
No, she's
unconscious. You were...
She's sleeping.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I don't
think... I forgot. I'm sorry. I was so excited to see you swinging at somebody with that poker. That would just have been interesting as hell. But go ahead. Yeah. So, Johannes, I think you're up again, David.
If I hear Lennox yelling from the hallway that there's more company, probably they are also dragging the doctor in that direction, or are they dragging them to the other exit that I now can clearly see where...
It's the exit that's north. There's a small doorway there north of the parlor room. See it on the left-hand side, little green square there. See what I'm talking about?
How fast are they?
Ooh.
Well, they're dragging the doctor, right?
They can't be that fast. I would
7. Their movement 7.
I would try to pursue them.
Okay. Okay, so whenever the doctor and whenever they start dragging him towards that direction, you do see as they're going through that doorway, there's other men coming from the other side of them, coming your direction.
From the other side of that
yes,
similar doorway.
From that hallway there, where it passes the bedroom on the right, from that hallway. So.
Yeah. Gotta know when you beat.
Well, I mean, there's multiple coming in here for a reason. That clearly, though, what you've discerned more than anything else is they're not there to harm you specifically.
Yeah, I'll hold the gun up towards the entrance in case anybody enters, but I'll take a step back.
Okay.
Take a look at the other entrance.
Okay. So, yeah, so you actually got the wrong freaking floor. Apologies. So yeah, you watch them go through. You see the other gentleman coming. You get the pistol trained at the doorway. You see at least 3 more men coming in the direction. They're all wearing black garb, masks across their face. Some are wearing, bowler hats. Others are wearing derbies. Clearly, you can't really tell who they are, but there's many of them. So you were next. That next person was going to be Margaret. Margaret, why don't you make another POW check for me, please? Still hell.
I might be waking up, I think. Yeah,
Yes,
fail or
when you passed out, you hit the floor, and when you went to hit the floor, and then all of a sudden you hear a loud, bang from a pistol, and that like jolted you, and you were like, ugh! And you're still a little woozy, but you can actually take an action.
I use the poker as a cane to push myself up to my feet.
Okay, all right, so I'll give you one action beyond that, but it's not gonna be minimal. But tell me what you want to do.
I think just basically assessing the situation, seeing who's in the room, and more crucially, who's not anymore, might be as much as I can manage. Possibly,
Okay.
take 2 steps to the door.
Well, you see Dr. Finley basically crumpled. He's sitting down on the floor with his leg held out. And he's holding his hand over what looks to be a bullet wound in his leg, and he's bleeding. He's just like, and he's kind of holding it. You see, standing up before you is Johannes, who's got his pistol trained on the doorway to the north of the room that you're in, and that's and you do hear other people coming from what seems to be coming from the dining room. Clearly, this is a very, very precarious situation here. So,
Nope.
So, okay. So you were at 72. We are back to. Did you? What? Was there anything else you wanted to do?
No. I just
Okay.
I guess I get an idea of the situation.
Okay. So, Dr. Finley.
Right.
What you doing?
Well, I'm very much ashamed of myself, disappointed, frustrated. I feel like I'm worthless, and I feel like a coward because now I'm thinking of hiding. I'm very scared.
Okay.
But if I see Lady Playfair coming back to her senses, I will probably try to hide this, and I will gesture at her to run away. There are more coming. I assume I also heard or noticed there are more people. Men.
Oh yeah. It's evident more people are coming.
Yes. I'll try to distract them. Run away. Go through the window. Anywhere. Run.
Okay.
And I'll try to also stand up. I assume it will be hard.
No.
Be really painful, but I'll try to
Are
stand
you doing
up.
anything to stop the bleeding?
I think I'm a medical doctor. I'll tie something around the wound and.
I will say that you make a medicine check just to make it. I don't think you're going to fail it at all unless you roll a 100.
First, I think it's first aid, right? Can I do first aid?
Oh yeah, sorry, first aid. Yeah, go for that. Yeah.
Oh, it failed. I'm still bleeding.
No.
It's hard to first aid
You
yourself.
tourniquet your leg, but you pull it too tight. If it's not taken off in 10 minutes, you're gonna cut off your circulation for good.
One more point.
One more
Damage from bleeding. Mm-hmm.
Okay, down to 6. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's it for Lennox, or for Dr. Finley. Lennox, you're up.
I mean, I was just tying up the guy who's now sleeping, and I see.
Yep,
that-
he's passed out cold. You hear more people coming from the direction of the dining room. What do you do?
From the dining room.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a quick option where I could just drag the guy on the floor, like in a corner that is kind of a bit out of sight? That if somebody would walk past, not directly looking at this, would see him? Not see him?
Let's see. Well, you're right at basically at the foot of the stairs. To the left goes directly open into the parlor room. You could drag him over to the right. See the center pillar, the 3 pillars there in the center?
Yeah, exactly.
The center pillar, you could probably kind of wedge him behind that pillar so he's not quite as easily seen. I'll let you do that with a good strength check.
Yeah, or underneath one of those tables in the center. Either is fine.
Yeah. Well, it's actually a pillar, but, that's fine.
Well, aren't there tables like in between the pillars?
Yeah, those actually, I believe those are pillars, but not tables. But I could be wrong. Who knows? That's fine. Either way, you get it there. Never mind. You tuck the guy's legs in. He looks like he's a folded, origami. So you managed to get him in there. So,
given the position of the layout, practically, I would need to, if I just stand now in the center pillar, I would need to, or I would probably overhear the other 2 guys shoving around Mr. Bamford to the door to the north, to the corridor. So I would.
Correct. Well, you don't see that happening actually at the moment. You probably hear commotion going on back there in that hallway.
That's what I mean. I would hear commotion.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why not? You only live once. I run after the commotion.
You run towards the commotion.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, I'm going to say basically you get him tucked away and you manage to take about 4 or 5 steps to look down the hallway. You see Dr. Bamford being drugged by 2 men, and coming around both sides of them, coming around from the corner, you see 3 to 4 more men coming in. All of them seem to be armed, and 2 of them have one has another pistol and another one has a knife. They actually stand in the hallway, and just one trains the pistol on you and the other one holds the knife. They just stand there.
I was just looking for some liquor. Sorry, I must be at the wrong door. Where's the kitchen again? And I just turn around and kind of go down the other corridor.
This isn't where I parked my car. Something like that.
Yeah, because
Okay.
in all likelihood, I see that they're moving to the right and north, right? So at least roughly in the building. So if I move to the other side and maybe get out through some windows, I could take the long route, but at least I would see where they're going in the back. So I'm just trying to get across the house and
Tell me exactly where, like back there where the fountain is in the back there, the ground floor.
Yeah.
That's on the other side of the kitchen. You see the kitchen there, so it's on the other side of the kitchen.
Go through the kitchen and pick up a couple of bottles, whatever I can find, which is
Okay.
which is also flammable. So the higher percentage, the better.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, we're gonna say that you just said that you saw them and you've turned around, and because your whole action was you put them in the ground behind the pillar. You went over to the hallway. You saw them. You turned around and said, "This is not where I parked my car," and you kind of make your way around towards it. So we're gonna say that you're right at the entranceway to the hallway leading to the kitchen there.
That's fine.
At this point.
That's fine.
Yeah. So, Is there anybody else left? No. Yeah, there's no one actually attempting to attack anybody. These assailants are not making any attempt to attack any of you, surprisingly enough. And they seem to retreat, dragging the poor Dr. Bamford out the back.
I don't know about poor at this point.
Well, you're right. You don't know for certain. All you know is that he was thumped very hard by these guys who, I don't know. You're not sure who they are. So, okay. I'm going to say at this point, I think combat has ended. Lennox, I know you stated you went over to left. You're going to go back through the kitchen and you're going to basically kind of try and see where they have gone. Let's see. Yeah. So, it would appear that just as you are coming through that doorway into the kitchen, you see Dr. Bamford is actually being drugged right before you, just right around the corner. And just at that moment, you see two more guys pull up, same thing, pistol in your face. Both of these guys have pistols, and they just stand there, wait, and while the rest of them file by. And they go out the back way here, past the fountain. That's all you can see at this point. But you reckon that you see maybe 12 other guys besides these two, and they kind of disappear into the darkness.
Still pick up a bottle and then just walk out, see how they disappear, and take a good swing of the liquor before I make my way back, and see how the others are doing.
Okay. So you do that. You come back in. When you went outside, you saw them. It looked like they disappeared into a thicket of woods. After that, you couldn't see anything much else.
I might be a madman, but I'm not crazy.
Right. That works. Okay.
Yeah, so I'll go back and.
Okay.
I think first thing intention is to look out Mr. Rico, because I feel like he has some sort of like authority and like coordination about all of this, like some logical thinking, and he has a gun, at least last I saw. So being close to him at least gives me a higher chance of survival than by myself.
Okay. So, what are the rest of you guys doing?
When I see that these thugs have apparently left and are not coming for us, I'll put my gun away and I turn to Dr. Finley. Dr. Finley, are you all right?
Yes, I just need to sit somewhere, tend my wounds.
Yeah, I'll help him sit somewhere.
Well, there's still, a couple chairs in there. The one that was Dr. Bamford was sitting in. So, yeah. So everyone sits over there.
And give him something to put his leg up.
There is an ottoman there you can perfectly well use, and manage to put his leg up. The bleeding has stopped.
I'll take the other doctor. And
yeah, he's like literally he rolled over as soon as you go near him. He rolls over to the side.
I'll give him a slight slap.
Out! Okay. God, what?
Maximilian, are you all right? Are you hurt?
What happened? All I know is I heard this.
Cannot entirely say, but
echoey talk, and I couldn't stay awake. Oh, he manages to get himself up and basically goes over and sits on the desk. Kind of leans himself, props up on the desk there. So
I realize that Johannes seems to know what went on, because I'm sort of partially in the dark myself, and so I'm afraid that this is when Johannes has to do all the explaining. What,
was-
where, how? Thugs, you say?
Some ruffians came and kidnapped the doctor.
Who were these people then?
It's unclear.
Sorry, one quick interjection I want to add here. Lennox, in addition to seeing them take off with Dr. Bamford, you see someone else being drugged. You're pretty sure it was Eric.
Oh no!
Yep.
You don't know it, so nothing for you to worry.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
There were quite a lot. I don't know. Mr. Morgan, did you see anything?
He probably just steps back into the room holding a bottle of whiskey or something. Takes a moment to kind of observe the scene. There must be some like letter opener or some sort of like blade or something in the room, right? Or something they like.
Sure. Yeah. Easily there's a letter opener on the desk. So yeah.
Yep. Takes it, goes over to the fire, puts it inside, and brings over the bottle of whiskey to Dr. Finlay. And it's like, oh, well, I have to say, I was quite overrun by this. I was just coming down from upstairs, and then, gives a recount of what happened to him. While he does so, probably takes about a minute or so, walks over to the fire, picks up the now glowing knife, and walks over to the doctor, and just kind of looks at the leg, and kind of looks you in the face, Dr. Finlay. Might sting, but it certainly stops the bleeding for good.
Don't
Yikes.
you even think about it. No, you have to remove the bullet first.
Well, easy said and done.
Oh God, you just asked for it.
You better
Go
take a
ahead.
good swing.
Sorry.
And he
Yeah.
well, he might actually give him like a piece of leather or something, cloth or something, to bite on, and then just like immediately digs his fingers into his wound and kind of digs for the bullet.
Yeah. Dr. Finlay, I'm going to say well, number one, if you're allowing him to do this, but you got to get the bullet out. Very true.
Right.
I want you to make a medicine check for me, Dr. Finlay, specifically because you're going to be guiding what Lennox is doing to your leg.
To be honest, I never expected that from him. So I would probably let him try to do what he wanted to do, because I never expected him to actually perform first aid. So I thought he was joking, or
just as he gets over there, then you like, no, you get my bag, and he pulls over. You get a pair of forceps out, and you hand the forceps to him while you have him pull it out and kind of guide him a little bit there. So get the bullet out.
Can I then roll psychology? If I succeed, I will guide him. Otherwise, I will.
Absolutely, go for it. Yeah.
Because well, he's like already said, he's nuts, but he's not that crazy.
Who knows? Bad shit, crazy. Okay.
Psychology for. Nope. I don't think he's gonna even attempt it. I think he's just trying to pull a prank on me.
Oh.
So I'll probably let him get closer to the wound, and when he dips his fingers inside the wound to pull the bullet, then I will start screaming and realize that I just let him do.
So you're just gonna just have him drag your bag over to you, and you pull the bullet out yourself, or you're still gonna have him do this?
I think he used his fingers.
Oh yeah.
Well, you could stop him mid. You could stop him
Yeah,
midway and have him
I
pull the
know,
forces.
but I was,
Okay.
I think I was surprised, and
Too late.
it's too late. It's too late. It's too late.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you hear Dr. Finley screaming to the top of his lungs. I want you to make a Constitution check, please. To see if you don't pass out from the pain.
Oh,
And Lennox is probably sort of grinning as he's doing this. I don't know.
Oh, I'm passing out. No, I failed.
Okay. All right. Wow. Okay. So yeah, you just literally screaming it. And just
Well,
thumps over.
Lennox reaches for the bottle of whiskey because then he immediately pours it over the wound, since he's passed out anyway.
Right. Right. So it's a good idea. Mm-hmm.
Realizing that he can't really go, like, finds it with his fingers. I think it will take a while, or not a while, but he thinks about, like, oh, the doctor has some stuff. Goes to look for his forceps instead, and well, it's not going to be pretty, but it's going to be doing its job.
Probably there's a little bit more blood than you should have, but
that's what the hot knife is for.
It's okay.
Because then I'm cauterized.
Yeah, you eventually do. He just will. But while you're digging around, the loss of blood might be a little more than what it would be with a regular physician doing this.
Just a short period of time. That's fine. There's more where that came from.
Okay. All right. Okay. So go ahead. I guess you're going to be kind of out for a little bit there, Dr. Finley. So
yeah, but I'm really surprised that the others didn't intervene. They seem to be enjoying it.
I'm thinking I didn't really see because I was, I was going to follow up on my plan of going to the dining room.
Well, you're also still kind of hazy, after basically passing out. That so Johannes, you're the only one who really would have an actual viewpoint. It's up to you on how you think you would react on what he's doing. Now, given somebody is what you've done in the past, what you've done in your own history, it's not the first time you've seen a field,
He's doing this with such confidence. I don't know both of them very good. He probably knows what he's doing. Apparently he's done this before.
Okay.
I mean, who else would just start digging in another man's leg if they wouldn't have been any idea what they're doing?
Exactly.
Very true.
Would be a madman.
Would be a madman.
Yep.
Oh, this is just killing me. All right, guys. So after I'm going to say about 10 minutes, Dr. Finley, you sort of kind of start to come to. Your leg is hurting like hell. You're a little bit drunk, mainly because of the alcohol you had. A little bit drunk there, and you kind of pull yourself up, and I'm going to say, unless you tell me otherwise, Lennox, you probably pull up a wingback chair up to the fire and just kind of wait there, wait for him to wake up, or are you doing anything else?
Well, I'm actually going to do what I've seen him do. So, like, once I cauterize the wound, I kind of wrap it up and. Probably also add some of my balms and herbal kind of creams and stuff that I use for wounds. And,
there's a very strange smell coming from your leg right now. Just point that out.
Pretty, but it's gonna work.
Yeah.
The herbalist from South Africa told me marvelous things about this recipe. So.
What you see a bottle that he has? It looks on the table nearby. It says bat guano. I think something like that. All right, so
but yes,
right, okay. Who knows?
I hear ground up mummy does wonders.
I heard so too. Surprising that you heard that as well, Mr. Rike. Yes, actually, there are various studies in the occult circles that discuss the idea of using ground up mummy dust. Yes.
Why am I thinking that Dr. Bamford probably has one somewhere that we could just snap off a finger?
Oh, don't give me ideas.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm sitting next to Dr. Finley and wait until he's waking up, and then just stoically kind of sit next to him, hand back the bottle because I know in like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 the pain's gonna come back, and then just sit there and kind of get him through it.
Okay, so at this point, unless Johannes, are you doing anything specific right now?
I'm
Okay.
trying to. I'm like preliminarily going through the entire house to find if literally everybody else. I mean, there were a couple of people with us in the house before 12 people invaded it. So
Yeah, so maybe
I'm checking.
Johannes and I
I'm
will
checking if
discuss
anybody's murdered, tied up anywhere.
Which
Keeping
reminds me,
account.
I would have told you about the guy that I tied up and put next to or behind the pillar.
Yeah, so you saw that. You find him there. So
first, I'd like to see if they kidnapped any additional people, or if they tied them up in the basement somehow. There was staff that we didn't see around. If like.
All right, so
there might be a big ass massacre somewhere that I.
You actually go into the dining room, and there at the end of the dining room, you see Ivan sitting at the table, and he's munching on a turkey leg this big, and he says, "Oh, I see you've came out of this. Okay, that is good. Yeah, I had my own troubles, but." They make good bench, you know. And you see where he's sitting, and he's not sitting on a chair. He's sitting on about 4 bodies. Now this guy, he's just sitting on top. Yeah, they make good bench. I snap neck. I sorry, they that poke. I should have thought about this better, but they pissed me off. I was eating. It's not good. Not good yet.
Ivan, have you seen Miss Joanna or Miss Jessica?
Oh, Jessica.
Or Mr. Eric, Mr. Lawrenson. We seem to be missing.
No, I not see Mr. However you pronounce his name, Laurutsen. I did not see
the vegetarian explorer.
Vegetarian. That's a conflict in terms I do not like. But I say to you, I do not see him. I did, however, see Jessica. I believe she hit one of the men quite hard with frying pan. He went down.
Oh, that's my girl.
And as she went running in another direction. I believe actually in the other direction, the other side. I did not follow because I had sort of 4 men all over around me. I was kind of picking them up and throwing them around. It was much like throwing around bales of hay. Very heavy, but very fun. Thud against the wall. You'll notice, you see wall over there, big hole in wall. That was one where one head went right in right there. Over here, you see another one where there's a foot. Yeah, no, I did that one myself. I tried to kick him, I missed. It went right through the wall. You know, I send money to the Dr. Bamford. You know, make repair. Oh, I could make repair myself. I'm not bad at it. I'm a handyman. I can do these such things. No, but that's what happened. I not see Jessica anymore. She went that way, and I've not seen her again. So.
Well, Ivan, they kidnapped the doctor.
There is one thing I did see. This is very unfortunate. You're a Virginian woman from America. I forget the name. Yes.
Miss Beaumont.
It appears she must have tried to escape out one of the upper bedroom through window. She fell. And well, if you go out to look at her now, her body is in not normal position. The head over here, arm. I don't know how. I don't know how this happened, but she is clearly dead. Just saying. But yes. And as he describes this, you realize that. Actually, you're not in the room, are you, Dr. Finley? You're actually still over in the parlor right now. Yeah, so he's not there. So, is anybody else in there that could have heard this discussion? Lennox? No?
I'm next to Dr. Finlay. We're buddying up here. Well, I'm trying to.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So, yeah, okay. So, yeah, he says all this stuff, tells you all this stuff, Johannes, and that's kind of it. You want some vodka? I found vodka. It's very good. It's not best, but it's good. Da? Vodka, yeah?
I'll continue my search for more survivors then.
Yeah, I think as soon as Ivan sort of coughed up the most important things, I would very much. I mean, especially after the revelation that she, actually was involved in the scuffle. I would very much want to find Jessica.
Okay. Well, presumably this is going to be when Johannes comes back and tells you about all this, because right now you don't know.
Oh no, I would have wanted to come.
Yeah. I thought you were along, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if you were along,
Sorry,
then...
I got up, saw Dr. Finlay, saw that Dr. Bamford was gone, poked my head out the door, and then I think Johannes sort of caught up with me.
Okay. So yeah, you heard this whole story from Ivan, and you actually rush out where he told you he saw her in the hallway. There is a frying pan, this bigger. It's got to be like 18-inch large iron cast frying pan that's laying on the floor, and there is a caved-in head of a guy laying on the floor here. That's clearly he's dead. She waylaid him hard, and you see her nowhere in the house right now.
Oh dear.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess we better go look through the whatever staff quarters and such.
Yeah, we do I think we check all the other rooms looking for also the staff themselves. Like there were, how much staff was there? There was at least one valet and one...
You recall about 3 valets and the butler.
There's got to be kitchen staff too with that big dinner they put on and all. They can't
Mm-hmm.
have all gone home.
No one is left in the house. They're all gone.
That is just...
Is there like
hell?
an outside access basement?
As far as you can tell,
Like with one of these tilted access points?
Make a spot hidden roll for me, and you want a good one if you can.
Kind of expect them to be tied up somewhere. No, I don't find any. Oh,
I see stuff, but not good though.
No,
I mean, not hard though.
It's not terrible. So back in the storeroom, there's a storeroom just to the left of the kitchen area. You see that on the map?
Mm-hmm.
There's a storeroom with all the supplies. Back in the corner, you actually see scuff marks, a scraping as to where it looks like one of the crates has been slid out to one side multiple times. And, Mm-hmm.
Here, give me a hand, and I guess Johannes and I sort of push aside the crate.
Yeah, we're not going to make you make kind of a strength check. It does move with a little bit of oomph. You got to move it, but yeah, you managed to take the crate, push it to the right. It kind of swings in kind of an arc fashion, and it reveals a 5-foot by 5-foot hole with a stone stairwell going down into darkness.
These are old English mansions, I say.
They've probably hidden down here.
We probably better get a lantern or something, and maybe the others.
I don't think Dr. Finlay's good with stairs at the moment.
Oh, what happened to him?
Oh, he was shot in the leg, and
Oh crap!
Lennox tended to the wound.
Oh, I didn't know. Well, he is a man of many talents, I think.
So it seemed.
So as you're in the back room, you're kind of gaping into the hole that you found. It's literally, it's a stairwell, secret stairwell. You hear Maximilian Bamford in the kitchen, and you hear this click, 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 click. Yes, operator. I would like to call the police. Yes, there's been an incident at the Bamford Manor. This is Maximilian Bamford. Some people have died. Send the constabulary as soon as possible. Thank you. Yes, I will stand by, and I have a few other guests here as well, whom of which will be able to relay events. Yes. Right you up. Yes. I will do that. Thank you. Goodbye. Click.
Oh.
What are you guys doing?
It was Johannes and Margaret that heard the phone
yeah.
call, right?
It was just those two. Yeah. And he actually, after he finishes the phone call, he literally goes back to the parlor where you see him a few minutes later enter into the parlor where both Lennox and Dr. Finley are at.
Well, I guess he needs filling in too, because he slept through the whole thing. So.
He walks in, he pours himself a drink, he looks over to, I know that you are quite worried about the police, but I have called them. They must be informed. We need...
He says to who?
He says this to everybody in the room. Mm-hmm.
Well, they are in the storeroom, right? It's only Lennox and
They are.
Michaelis.
It's just Lennox and Dr. Finley in the room. He comes walking back into the parlor and makes that mention of that. He basically throws a couple cubes of ice in a glass and pours himself a drink.
If he leaves the phone unattended, I like to wait till everybody goes back into the parlor and make a little phone call.
Okay.
And I think before he comes to Dr. Finley and me, I'll well, I wanted to see what he says once he kind of comes through.
Well, when Dr. Finley comes to, okay. Well, Max basically says, I think we should all get together and get our stories aligned, and we do not stray from the story.
Well, I leave Johannes to make his phone call and join the others, and will fill in Maximilian to the fact that his staff is missing and his other guests apparently, and his father has been kidnapped. And I'd like to see if he's sufficiently worried, because he should be. I mean, stiff upper lip and all, but he should be freaking out.
Roll a psychology check, please.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so go ahead. Yeah.
No, I'm too confused myself.
Yeah, as far as trying to gauge how he's feeling with this whole situation, he's gone into position mode, into I'm going to manage the situation mode, and we've got to work everything out. So he's disturbed by this, obviously, but you figure that he's just trying to get this managed and figure a way out. So it is. I ask your opinion, but it is my belief that we should state that we were all invited here for dinner, which is the truth. And during the dinner, we were attacked. My father was kidnapped. A few people died in the process, and somehow or another, I don't know what to say about poor Father Benwiddle. How do we explain that?
The slightest.
We can't explain that, Max.
I know what we'll do. He walks over. He pulls out a lamp. It's a glass lamp with a glass bottom and a clearly lamp oil in it. It's not lit. He's going. I would take this and break it right next to his body. We would say that it was caught. He accidentally dropped the lamp. He was caught on fire, and that was his demise. That's the best I can think of.
Right. That sounds plausible.
How
Yes,
can you?
yes, that happened in the general commotion, of course.
Okay, so
Don't forget that the police was here earlier.
Well, it could have been the kidnappers that sent them off.
No, it was
presume.
me.
it was Lennox. That's very true.
Yes, well, I mean to say, we could claim that it was. On the other hand, the constable probably would recognize Lennox.
Lennox, so I would just say that to them, just tell them. The staff saw something going on. They thought that someone had been attacked out in the darkness, out to the back of the house. But it was found out it was just someone was bringing a load of potatoes into the back, and they just accidentally fell, and it was a mistake. But then, unbeknownst to us at the time, there actually were assailants out there, and they attacked. I don't know how else to put it. I'm just trying to come up with something so we don't end up in the clink. We need to find answers. I need to find answers. I never cared much for my father. He was cold, most often cruel, but he still needs an explanation for all this.
Lennox takes a brief moment to Dr. Finlay because he tried to talk to him maybe before, but he gets up and ignoring Max, goes in the hallway, grabs the unconscious guy and just drags him out into the back and disappears into the back towards the forest without saying anything else.
You take
I'm taking the guy with me and I'm disappearing. I'm not saying anything to anybody else.
Well, okay then. Okay, so
Can we point out the secret stairwell under the roots under the storeroom to Maximilian and see if he knows about this? Or would you leave that
Being
unlikely?
better place to drag the body, the guy.
it's I believe that's called it was once called a priest hole. It is where people, the Catholics, and would hide from the Protestants, and I believe I can't quite remember quite so exactly what it was coming with, but I believe that's what it was originally used for. It's supposed to end up out at the creek, some quarter mile away. Because I never actually been there myself. I don't do well with tight.
Do the
dark
servants
places.
know about this? Would they have known to escape that way?
Who? I'm sorry.
Or else your staff is gone.
Oh, they would absolutely.
Or, I mean-
they would have absolutely known where to go. And yes, they were actually briefed on that. The father had more than once told them, if anything ever happened, that they were to go to that. That was their escape.
I like the sound of that more than the kidnappers coming in that way.
Well, it's not to say that they could not have come in that way. It could very well have.
Why not both? Sure.
Mhm. Well, we could always go look. Although,
We should. I'm very worried for my missing assistant.
oh yes, Jessica was her name, correct? Yes, right.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, she was sort of fawning over that Eric fellow. She was just kind of fluttering at the eyes. She would turn a little red whenever he was talking. He's quite the charmer, he is.
On too, so I mean, but again, so is all your staff. I think you should be more worried about them.
Well, I'll leave that up to the rest of the people here. Lennox, before you go do your thing, is that what you've heard everything else that's going on? You hear about the entrance? Is he going to still do exactly what he was going to do?
I heard enough that I heard that ridiculous plan of Maximilian that I don't agree with, and I had enough, and I take the one person that knows exactly what happened, and I will take him somewhere where I can talk to him privately.
Where do you leave? Do you leave towards the back of the house?
Yeah,
or?
to the back as well. Basically the
So
same
while I'm
direction.
doing the call in the kitchen, I'll just see you drag the guy
and
past me.
I just
Fireman
walk by
Gary.
you and nod and just continue.
I'll just shortly call Evelyn and tell her to call the embassy and for them to lay low unless they absolutely have to not lay low. Like if I'm like facing trial, they are free to intervene, but up till then, they should please leave me.
Okay, so
be for now.
You made your phone call, Dr. Finley. What exactly were you doing? Or you just?
I'm troubled by all this, and I want to talk to either Lennox or Lady Playfair, but Maximilian is with us in the same room, so I'm not.
You, Maximilian, and Margaret are all in the same room.
Yeah.
I'll eventually will enter back into that room.
Okay. So.
I have some suspicions, but I can't speak them out in front of Maximilian yet. So whenever I get the chance,
have you formulated a plan on what you tell the police for these 3 dead people the Russian is sitting on?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
I guess he's going to have to account for them.
Yes.
It would seem quite obvious that he's capable of all that.
And
so we're just saying we were attacked and the doctor was kidnapped and that's it? Raising an eyebrow?
Father Noah got smacked with an oil lamp and
I think we should show somebody some respect to that man. Let's bury him, hide him. Let's not get him involved into all this.
Just at that moment, you hear the phone ring.
Oh.
And it's at this point we're all going to take a break.
All right. Oh yes. All right. 10-minute break. 5-minute break.
10-minute break. We will see you back soon. See you. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. We'll talk to you soon. Hey, welcome back. Back to the second half of this particular episode 2 of the Sovereign Sacrifice. We last left with everybody trying to come up with different ways of what they're going to do after the phone call to the constabulary. We see Lennox take off with a body, one of the cultists. God only knows what he's going to do to that guy. I feel sorry for him already. I believe the good Dr. Finley and Margaret are still in the parlor. And remind me again, Johannes, I know you made a call. What exactly was it?
I made a call to my assistant in Vienna, Evelyn, or my secretary, to give the embassy a ring and tell them that I might be in some hot water, but they should not intervene unless it's absolutely necessary to keep me out of jail for a longer time or something.
Making a call to Vienna from the Cotswolds in the middle of the country.
That's like 3 operators.
Yeah, at least. And it actually was more prudent. If you were going to send any messages, there would not be phone calls. It would be telegraph.
It would probably. I'll probably phone a telegram service to relay that very same message.
Right. Okay. So you did that.
And I probably also have a short for these type of things that I don't have to. This doesn't take like forever.
Okay. All right. So Lennox, let's start with you and this poor fellow. I'm curious as to how this is all going to turn out. So tell me what happens. What do you do?
I'm just gonna waft through the muddy fields, carrying him on my shoulders into the forest. Do both look out a bit for the tracks where the others went, because there were a lot of people, so there's clearly a lot of footprints on the ground.
It's still hard to see because it's after dark and there's not much moonlight. Are you carrying a lantern or something?
No. That would point me out for anybody arriving.
Right.
Adjusting to the darkness, but yeah, just roughly the direction that I saw them leave.
Yeah. All right. I want you to make a spot hidden, or do you have? Is it tracking? Anything like that?
It's track, yeah. Track or spot hidden?
Whichever is the best for you.
Yeah, okay, that's spot hidden, clearly.
Okay.
Not in this case, though.
Okay. So as I said, the light is very minimal, even with, it's relatively recent. It's muddy out here in certain spots, but it's high grass in certain areas. So it's hard to really tell exactly. You can tell that people have been through here, but exactly what direction they're going. You know that they went into a thicket of woods, and you think that they came out on the other side and headed in a easterly fashion.
Okay.
But you lost them after there's a small creek back there. They crossed through a creek, and you lost where they are at least at that point. That's kind of basically.
I'll just.
It does lead up to a road. So.
Yeah, not really too much of the road. Going the opposite direction, a bit further in. Gonna take my new best friend, and I will loosen some of his restraints, but use enough of them that I basically untie him, but retie him with his hands behind his back around a tree, and secure and tighten this, and spread his legs and put a couple of logs between his knees so that he can't really kind of put them back together easily. And then I'm just gonna gently slap him awake. Well,
he was sort of already kind of moaning in the first place when you were basically carrying him over your shoulders. Kind of. Who are you?
can be your friend, I can be your companion, or I can be your worst nightmare.
You're one of those ones that actually believe, don't you?
Oh no.
You
No,
know,
I
the
don't.
false Christ, the false Messiah. Him. That prophet, that charlatan, that blasphemer. The time has come. The first angel amongst angels shall return. Rejoice! You should rejoice! Oh, we shall all bask in his radiance.
I'll start to cut open his shirt and expose his chest, looking for tattoos. And they're like...
Yeah, okay, so you did find a couple of esoteric symbols, specifically sigils. One is clearly satanic in nature. You would know this.
Mm-hmm.
Make it a cult roll, please.
That's gonna be fun. Okay. That's an
Oh my
experience.
god! Holy shit. Okay, give me just a moment here, because I was... Yeah, you caught me off guard with this one. All right, so... give me just a
And I'm
moment,
just
please.
beginning.
Okay. While I'm doing this, sorry, I have to add a couple things to the Roll20. Margaret and company. Is there anything that you're particularly wanting to do?
I think I'd like to check up on Dr. Finley, who I've, sort of not missed out on his whole ordeal, I guess.
Mhm.
And well, so now seeing him there, all bandaged up and such, I think I want to touch base.
Okay.
Are you okay? It looks horrible.
That will heal. But listen, Margaret, Lady Margaret.
Yes.
Did you hear Richard Bamford? He spoke again with this voice. He said words I couldn't understand. It was like he made you sleep. He made you fall asleep. He made you fall unconscious.
Did I notice before I was knocked out? Keeper?
Sorry, one more. Well, restate that one more time for me. Apologies. Go ahead.
So when the doctor put me to sleep with his incantations, did I sort of realize what was going on, or was I just like...
You just realized you were getting suddenly, oh my god, sleepy, and before you even knew it, out.
So I did not hear his formulae at all?
You heard some strange language, something you've never heard before. I will give you a chance to roll an occult test on that if you've got something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, can I also
Okay.
roll occult? Because I
mean, I find it easy to...
All right, those that heard it, yes, you can roll it. That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get that one. But I find it easy to believe the doctor because I realized something was weird.
Yeah, Dr. Finley, I see that you got a success. However, for you to really understand what this is from, you just know it was a strange language, and the language is what caused it. That's basically it.
Okay.
Um,
So that's it. Yeah. All right. Listen, Lady Margaret. The book. You noticed
He
the
was
book.
lying when he said he didn't remember, wasn't he?
Yes.
And I do talk over the doctor because I am so excited.
Yes, listen, I believe he's possessed. The book
He
he
must
had,
be.
yeah, the book he had in his room, and then the note, the journal note, something about casting out the devil, Satan. Notes from that witch. Remember, I believe that he knew that he was possessed. He didn't have control of himself, and maybe he was trying to figure out a way to dispel that thing from him, cast this thing out. This is why he behaved so erratically. Lady Margaret, I'm really scared. I believe we're very deep into this. This is. I don't know if I want to continue. And who were these men who took him?
I have no idea, and I very much share your concern. I've known Richard for many years now, and I mean I never used to know him like that. But he is a man of considerable means, and if he's well, if he's fallen prey to dark forces or something, he's going to be capable of, well, I don't know what, but too much entirely.
It makes sense, doesn't it? For something evil wanting to possess a man of power, of influence.
I should think so. God, can you imagine what could happen at the ball tomorrow? Maybe it's a blessing that they took him.
Listen, do you trust Johannes? Because
I've only known him for, this short time.
Yeah,
Much
you're
like
a
yourself.
you're a good judge of character. What do you think about him? Should we trust him? Because listen, I found something upstairs while I was searching for Eric. There was this, and I will hand you over the envelope. Eric is
It's
gone.
Eric's handwriting, isn't it? He was writing on the train.
I don't know.
He's gone?
He's gone, yes. And where is Lennox again? Where did he go?
You're right. Where did he go? I hadn't noticed before. And poor Jessica, I really wish she was here. I hope those thugs didn't do anything horrible with her.
Certainly don't want. I said they wouldn't like that also, but listen, please help me up. We need to find the others.
Here, take the poker as an impromptu cane.
Oh.
Worked quite well for me.
Good idea. Yes, I will. And I don't know, maybe we get up and seek out Johannes.
Okay.
Or Lennox, because we do not know where he went.
Yeah, whoever we run into.
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah.
Okay, so you go to where Johannes went off to, or you came back? Did you not? Johannes?
I came back.
That's what I thought.
No.
So, you guys had this. He came back to the room. Would you have had this conversation within earshot of him? Because I remember you talking about him.
No.
Yeah, might have been either whispered or sort of.
Okay.
If it was whispered, I would totally like to roll a listen check on this.
That's exactly what.
Here we go. My first success of the game.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
I will say this, Johannes. You come back into the room. You hear your name mentioned, and then they kind of look up at you, and it's like they kind of look away. And so, yes, you go right back there. Lennox, you found all of these symbols all across this man's belly and his chest. Multiple symbols. And which one did you roll? You rolled an occult, did you not?
Yeah, an extreme occult.
You did roll an extreme. Okay, so the first one. Give me a second. I literally just loaded these up. you see is the seal of Flauros. You know that is his seal.
Yep.
Because after the name was mentioned, you realize that. And the other one, you see one of Anubis. And you see 4 other sigils that you're not quite sure what they are, but you think for certain the one with the hand with the eye is a symbol of divination.
And I'm pretty sure I would know sigil 5.
Okay. You would know that. Okay. Well, this is not a cult, believe it or not.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's Norse history.
Very true. Okay, so I would imagine he wouldn't know that, or would he know that?
He would, because that
okay.
kind of like was kind of his interest, but I think that's one of the things that kind of pokes his eye.
Okay, well then you recognize this as to being a Norse compass. Is basically what this is.
Beckvisor.
Yeah, and so you know that one, and the other sigils, you think sigil number 4 may have something to do. You believe it might have something to do with the clairvoyance. Okay, sigil 3 is with the hand and the eye as clearly divination. Sigil 2, apologies. Sigil 2 is clairvoyance. Sigil 4 is, oh, no, I take that back. Yeah, sigil 4 is actually telepathy. And then sigil 2, and then of course we have Anubis, which is the Egyptian god of the dead. Who ushers the souls and basically discerns whether or not they will go on to the afterlife or go to Hades, whatever, that type of a thing. So those things. So these are like kind of patchworked all around his chest and belly. The specific one, the seal of Flauros, is the largest one and is the center of his chest.
Well, we'll see about that. But what happens is, I think, the moment Lennox exposes his chest and hears him manically laughing about this, he just stumbles backwards, maybe just like stumbles over a couple of trees, kind of almost hitting the ground but supporting himself, and he gets up, but his posture is a bit more straightened. His muscles are actually much more showing now, his strength. And he approaches him, kind of just like gently feels around the chest, symbol by symbol. Kind of reaches up his chin, turns it left and right. Now, you tell me where you came from, what you wanted, and why you wanted him.
I actually feel sorry for you.
He starts laughing in the same tone. I do too. I do too. And he reaches in his pocket and pulls out a knife, opens it up. And
he's laughing.
Yeah, and he's...
Good. Oh, that sounds good. Please.
Yeah.
By all means.
And he starts with this first symbol, and he starts skinning him on that portion of his body.
Okay. All right. We'll just say you managed to get the sigils. Do you all of them? Is that what you do? Your attempt to do?
One by
You're trying
one,
to get all the sigils.
Hoping that he reveals more anything to me. And I just laugh maniacally as he does, continuing the same charade.
giving this as a part of our lines and veils, I'm going to say that you're going to have made this into. You've got the information. Now, were you attempting to basically get information from him, or are you just trying to get the sigils?
Well, I want to do both. I want to keep the sigils, and well, I'm clearly maybe not thinking 100% correct at that moment. So the best way is to preserve these symbols by taking them, which I do. And the other thing is then to get the information about where they are from and where they are going to take the good Dr. Bamford.
Okay, so you get these grisly forms of the sigils. As far as getting any information out of him, all it is a constant clatter of the sun, the light of all lights, the angel of light is on his way down with the false Christ and up with the light of all lights. You know, all that business. You do not get any other information out of him other than that.
Okay. Well, I don't want him to scream, so I probably should take away the issue with his tongue, so to not have him scream that much. And
No.
yeah, I will then leave and go back to the manor.
Okay, so you go back to the manor. You've got what information you've got, and you arrive back into the manor. Johannes and Margaret and they're all still in the parlor at this point discussing things, and you return.
Do you bring the skin with you?
Well,
Or do you need to hang it up to dry in the woods somewhere?
No, so he comes back, and you probably the first thing you hear is a bit of commotion from the back, a bit of stumbling, and glasses breaking, and then you see him coming to the parlor, having a glass of some drink in his hand, and just looking at you. And he does have, his pockets filled. They might be dirty and muddied, depending on how closely you look. And he'll rejoin you and kind of look at you and say, "Oh, did I miss anything?"
Oh, Lennox, there you are. No, I just wondering if you were safe and all.
I just
No.
took a stroll.
You
Does he
didn't
seem
see
bloodier
anybody
than he
else,
was
did you?
before?
Say?
Does he seem bloodier than he was before?
Most
I
likely.
mean, we were in sort of a scuffle and stuff, but I saw him depart out of the back of
Your
the
hands
house.
and fingers might be.
Yeah, they are certainly bloody.
His hands are definitely bloody. But then again, you just watched him attempt to dig out a bullet out of Dr. Finley's leg. So
Right.
He may just
he was
think
bloody
that's
when
all
he
from
left.
that.
Yeah.
Isn't that a coincidence that I almost set this up, giving me full credibility about the whole
Pretty
thing?
much. Yeah, that's pretty bizarre and kind of terrifying. All right, so
And I come inside, and I probably will just rejoice and give Miss Playfair a brief recount about what I experience in a calm and solemn voice.
speaking of which,
You didn't see Jessica anywhere? No? What a shame.
No,
I hope she's okay.
by the way, when on your way back into the manor, you see probably about 10 horses, men on horseback, carrying lanterns, and riding up towards the manor. You pretty much guess it's the constables. Yeah.
what horses? And no, I've not seen her. I've looked around, but I'm sorry. She's gone too.
Well, I hope the police are going to go look for everybody. Maximilian said that the staff was likely aware of the tunnel under the storeroom, so I hope that's where they escaped and that they're all going to be together.
I'm sure, Miss Playfair, that she will be fine. There's nothing to be concerned about. Oh, Doctor, you are feeling better?
No, I'm feeling worse.
Oh. Well, I think it's just a pain talking.
It's not just that, it's everything that has happened so far. Where have you been? Whenever we needed you, whenever I seeked you out, you were not here. Where have you been? Please don't tell me you're involved in this.
No.
This whole mess.
I just got some fresh air. I just needed to clear my mind.
I see you're back. Maximilian walks into the room. I have called the constables. I think I hear them coming now. Lennox, dear man, wash your hands, please.
Yes, I will. And he slouches off.
Yeah. Okay. So, you hear? Open up, please, in the name of the law.
Right. Time to lie in the face of police.
You're not lying.
Hello, anyone in there? You see lights kind of coming in the windows, but some people with lanterns are kind of looking in. And clearly, you can see the shape of Bobby's helmet.
Omitting some details,
I
Doctor.
expect Maximilian to open the doors.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
He's now technically the man of the house.
Yeah, exactly. And
he just looks at you with this look of.
Dr. Finley's as for Dr. Finley's misgivings, I honestly wouldn't know how to explain about Father Noah, so that's what I'm going to appeal to. And about Dr. Bamford, well, I mean,
Okay.
they're not going to believe us about the evil statue and everything.
Okay, so Maximilian looks over at you, kind of gives everybody kind of a confirming nod of everything that you kind of discussed. Lennox, you left the room. You're out of sight now, right?
Yeah, I went to the bathroom.
Okay.
Washing myself and being a bit confused about the reflection that I see and how dirty I am.
Okay. So, Dr. Max opens the door and he's, "Oh, yes, I'm so glad you've got here. All right." And you literally see the sergeant walk in, pistol drawn in hand. And he pushes by Max in a very kind of forceful way. And three other police officers come into the room. All of them holding billy clubs. Is the sergeant's armed with a pistol at this point. All right, someone tell me, was it you made the call? And Max said, "Yes, it was me. I'm afraid there's been a horrible thing that's happened here. My father, well, you know me, George, is it? It's Sergeant Libri to you right now. Now, explain yourself." Right. As you know, my father likes to have dinner parties, and he had one tonight with multiple different people, and some of the guests, as you can see, but during the meal, suddenly these strange men, you can see one over there, has got a thing on his face, covering his face, but they literally at gunpoint took my father and just absconded with him, kidnapped him, and I don't know what they've done with him, but you know, we did our best to fight off these people, and the poor father.
They shot our friend, I say, pointing at Dr. Finley's leg.
See, as you can see, sir, they shot him in the leg, and they actually, they caused the poor death of Father Noah Benwiddle. I'm not sure if you know him, Sergeant. He's a Catholic priest, an acquaintance of my father's, and apparently he, in the midst of all of this attack, he fumbled with a glass lantern, and it fell at his feet, and he caught fire. And God love him, but he died quite horribly. He's laying in the parlor there. We've covered his remains up just to. It's just quite awful all together, sir. Oh, quite awful. And does anybody else say anything?
Dr. Finley would just nod positively to whatever Maximilian says. Maybe that gives him a bonus die on his roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
They'll just look pitiful and, sob on cue when he mentions Father Manoa, and just do my best sort of lady in distress impression.
Okay. All right. So he actually holsters his pistol, and he looks at Dr. Maximilian, and he says, all of you in that room right there, in the parlor, men, search the place. And they literally fan out like 10 different.
I helpfully add, there's a friend in the dining room. He killed a few of them, so that they don't shoot Ivan at sight.
you hear the guys go into the dining room, and you hear, yet, no need to shoot. I know it's just a leg of turkey, okay? It's fine. I knocked them out. One I did break neck. I sorry, but he was trying to kill people, so it's always good. Yeah. No, I will go out, and literally they're pointing him out with pushing him out into the. It's hilarious because you see these two, probably maybe 5'7", 5'8" bobbies with their little nightsticks pushing out this 6'6" monster of a man coming that literally has to lean over and duck underneath his window, the door frame, to get into the foyer, and he's just okay, don't worry, don't get touchy. It's all is good. Hello everyone. I had good dinner.
I mentioned for Ivan to take a seat with us, and
right.
out of harm's way.
I will do as you ask. It is no problem. Where are you, Lennox? Mind you, I need you to roll your thing, Lennox.
What? Let's see. Nope.
Okay. So, where are you at in the house right now?
I'm probably just finished.
You were washing your hands.
I was probably just finishing cleaning up. I've noticed suspicious items in my pockets that I'm kind of wrapping in other things and wrapping them in even more towels and whatever I can find. Realizing that, but something must have happened. Clearly, somebody must have put them into my pockets.
Right. Okay. Well, you hear in your head.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you hear in your head the voice of Ivan. Yeah, there you are. What are you doing in the bathroom? Why are your hands all bloody? What have you been doing, boy?
I don't know.
Get out of here. You need to get out here now. If they find you back there, they think that you killed all these people or something. Get out here.
Out here to the back or out to you?
The foyer, the front door. Come.
Yes.
He kind of washes
And
up. He keeps his hands kind of wet, and he probably just fills up a carafe of water, and takes a couple of glasses that he finds willy-nilly around, and kind of storms back, paces back into the... Miss Playfair, I brought you some water. I'm sorry it took so long. Everything was destroyed.
Good. That was good of you, Lennox. Very good. Let me have a glass of water. But Maximilian just jumps right. So they literally, they all fan out throughout the entire house, looking for anything and everything. And
Wonderful.
the good sergeant walks up and says, "All right. Seems to me that there was a small hidden place in the good doctor's study upstairs, right? And it looks like something was taken. Would any of you know anything about that?"
You mean like a safe?
In the doctor's study, we were downstairs.
We had dinner with a beautiful guest from across the world.
Right. So, from what... Well, you had dinner. What else happened? Just tell me the story of events here, exactly what happened from the time that you arrived through that front door.
My assistant is missing, a young woman, only 23 and gorgeous and smart, and you must find her.
Right, we'll get to that, miss. Beforehand, I need to know what happened here first. I have a dead body laying over here, along with 4 other bodies that are stacked on high like a bleeding bench. That was done by this big-ass fellow here, who has crumpled. I don't know. Start with you. He looks over to you, Johannes. What happened?
I'm sorry. My English is not so good. I will try. I will try to relate. We was sitting and having dinner, and afterwards we were given tour of artwork and we were reconvening in parlor when first 3, 4. I can't recall exactly.
Hold on. Oh, wait, just a minute. All right. Would you? Where are you from?
I'm from Austria.
Austria. All right, Fritz. We just happen to find a fellow right here who speaks German. All over, Fritz. In perfect German, he says hello. We would be very much appreciative if you would be completely compliant and tell exactly what happened.
Well, the question is now, does he speak perfect German or does he speak perfect Austrian and Austrian dialect?
True. Well, isn't Austrian... It's not
Austrian
German?
Austrian is German, but I will play up the Austrian dialect that the German has a hard time understanding that as well.
Yeah,
but
this is as Dixon to Yorkshire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So but by all rights, though.
But by all means,
He should be able to converse. Yeah, and get right. Okay. So.
Yeah, we were having dinner. We were shown the artwork. We reconvened in the parlor for a drink, and then we heard, and then left. We didn't know what happened in the rest of the room. We only later discovered that this scary-looking Russian man had apparently taken care of a lot of them, but they were more than even he could take care of.
Right. So,
but they remained in the dining room while we were getting the tour of the artworks. There was another lady and my servant and all the staff is gone. Please.
Yeah, there was another lady. We didn't know what happened to her until we heard that she tried to escape. But we didn't know what was going on in the rest of the house where we were in the scuffle in the.
Right, and I believe Johnson. Is it? It's you're the one who found the body back, right? She's sort of broken into pieces, right? Well, yes, sir. She's.
Oh no!
Broken. Oh, I'm sorry. What she look like? Oh, she had. Well, she's got. Well, there's a lot of blood, sir, but she's got brunette hair. It's kind of long. The sergeant. Is that what you're your assistant looks like she have brunette hair.
Oh no, that was the American lady.
No, that's the other lady. Oh, but how
American.
awful.
Right,
Lots
this
of
is-
blood, and I go
this
into
is-
sobbing fits again.
This is a bloody well freaking national conference of multiple freaking nations here. All right. So let me get this straight. You all came here for a wonderful dinner. Had dinner. Were shown by the good doctor a bunch of art pieces, which was it right, Clocky? Yeah, the art pieces that have now been all sliced up and, as I understand it, thrown in the fire. So who did that?
But those horrible vandals.
Vandals. You're saying that the men that came up and took Dr. Bamford came in and also sliced up all of his paintings and threw them in the fire.
Yes,
Right.
yes,
Well, they clearly
and
must
then
have.
and then they ran off with the doctor.
I mean, it sounds
Right.
to me like a.
Held us at gunpoint.
Right. So you are, what's your name again, miss?
Margaret Playfair. Of Sutton House. You might have heard of us.
Right.
My father is Lord so-and-so.
I always wondered about Lord So and So. Comes up often.
Famous.
Yeah, famous Lord So and So.
He stops for a moment and he looks at you. The Playfairs from Sutton Place.
That's it.
Right. All right, Clarky, round the boys up. I'm very sorry to have missed you, of disturbed you, miss. Clearly,
No,
this is no
seriously.
fault of your own. We'll have to. I will send out someone to collect the bodies. Is this your friend here? One that's, sorry to say, crispy?
Don't you have any
Poor
respect
father.
and etiquette in police school?
Right.
You
You're
know
quite
who
right.
you're talking to, so I beg your pardon. You know that Miss Playfair is, well. Lennox just looks at him very stern, and he kind of leans to
Please
Miss
catch
Playfair.
the people who did this to him.
Right.
They're there,
Right.
Miss Playfair. They're there. It's gonna be fine.
Clark, who comes out. So, Sergeant, we just picked up the trucks of just out maybe a quarter mile out of the way, right near the road here. It looks like they had a couple of wagons out there, or maybe even one of those new automobiles. Right. Oh no, we'll be all right. Will you be fine, miss? Is there anything we might be able to do for you at this moment?
I have my friends here, but please, you must find Jessica and the poor doctor.
Jessica. What's her last name again? I'm so sorry.
I think it's Wainwright. Seem to remember.
Jessica Wainwright. All right, that's all right. Wainwright.
Out of character, I think that's what it is. In character, I totally remember.
It does sound familiar.
That sounds like it was it.
Yeah.
It's close enough. All right, so they all turn around. They literally go out, jump on their horses, and they like off in another direction. Clearly, the mere mention of your name sent shivers down their spine. So,
Lennox looks at you. It's like, they really must hate you. I don't know what you, but I'm sorry about your
My
behavior.
father is a bit of a jerk.
Ah, I see. Well, that happens.
it's only he only plays golf with the Prime Minister, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Lennox doesn't make that connection. He thinks he was just very rude and aggressive and made them leave, so he thinks that she's just a very good con artist in that aspect at the moment.
Okay.
Again, he doesn't like royalty and aristocracy, so That's not really.
Yeah, he is totally out of his realm right now. yeah. So, okay. So, what are you all going to do now? The house is literally empty. Servants have not returned. There are a few horses. There is a carriage. There is a carriage that could possibly take the four of you back to, at least to get you on a train back to London. Your bags are still all up in the rooms, by the way. They were taken up there when you first arrived. So,
where is the
I could
book?
imagine better places to stay, but maybe this house needs some further searching. There might be occult artifacts left, right, and center, and also that mysterious tunnel.
okay. Which one are you going to start with? And who's doing what?
I just want to make sure that Johannes still has the book. Does he?
He does.
That's good.
He hasn't had a chance to really look at it yet, but
Yeah.
but he did. The page did fall out of it, which, well, I would deem that quite interesting. So
Yeah. I would
And that isn't even the most interesting thing about that book.
nope, you're right.
Well, Johannes overheard our discussion between Finley and Lady Playfair, but still, he would relay his thoughts on the matter of why Bamford kept the book hidden up there and claimed that he didn't know about it. Or so. Well, what do you think, Johannes?
Do you think he really did know about it? Was he
I
playing
think
us?
I think that he knew about it, but there were
I was
two.
ready to believe him, but then a second later he started chanting. So
As I mentioned, I think they are. He's possessed. He has an entity, something evil in him that possessed him in order to gain man of influence and strength and money. That's what I believe. Sorry.
No, I have one quick thing I want to interject because I did fail to mention it before you guys began this conversation. The good sergeant from the constabulary asked Maximilian to ride with them back to give a formal statement. So he has left on horseback back with them. So he is not with you at this time. Okay. So just letting you know. Go ahead. Sorry. Continue.
Yes. By the way, is Lennox with us or is he gone again?
No.
It's a
you
good
never
question.
know these days.
It's a reasonable question, but this time he is with you. He'd probably just been in the back, and I think he was hovering around Miss Playfair, trying to be her assistant or appearing to be her assistant in as long as the police was around. Which, for you, Dr.
considering
Finley,
I'm short an assistant, that's helpful.
it might have seemed helpful for you, but it seemed certainly more out of character for anybody else.
Margaret, I would have expected you to be like just totally taken off guard by this whole situation. What Lennox is? What is he doing? What? This would be, it'd be hard for you to even deal with as well, I think. So go ahead, Lennox. Sorry.
Yeah. So if Max is gone, and we are truly by ourselves, is it Ivan? You're still with us, right, my dear friend?
I'm here. This is getting boring here. What are we doing?
We have you I do need a piece of paper, and he goes.
Here,
he goes
is
over
that not desk over there? There paper on desk there, right there. Go right there. Get some paper right there.
And he gets a couple of pieces of paper, and he starts to draw a crude resemblance of the symbols in his pockets.
Okay. So everybody should have access to seeing all the sigils that I just posted up within Roll20. You discern, I'm going to basically kind of, cliff notes this is you discern that each of these are specific to specific things like divination, clairvoyance, telepathy. What else? Navigation. Clairvoyance. What else is there? And telepathy. Basically, every single one of your powers. Each one.
Lennox, why are you drawing these things?
And one with the Flauros symbol. Yeah.
I continue to draw them, ignore Miss Playfair's comment, and just keep on drawing them. Like I didn't.
I stare. Yes, it's not the most mysterious thing that Lennox ever did, but I am looking on in puzzlement.
And once he's finished, he turns to you, and I think he looks at you. I want to say like sad puppy face, but like in a sense of like, distraught and saddened, and really concerned. And he says, "I saw them in a dream. I saw them in a vision, and I could not shake them."
Why bring
Yeah,
this
seeing them
forth
in
now?
Vision pushes my
It
buttons.
just happened when I was in the bathroom. I looked in the mirror and I saw them appearing.
Lennox, you hear in your mind.
Oh.
Why you lie? You tell me later. I go along with.
Well, I saw them in the mirror. No, I don't lie. I saw them in the mirror, and I just they almost as if they appeared on my skin. I couldn't. They burned into my vision.
Well, I've known Lennox for quite some time now, so and I tell if he's bullshitting us.
Ooh, that would be a psychology roll.
Yeah,
I think you get an advantage on that as well, because I think what he tried to do earlier at the fireplace once you woke up, and literally when Max stormed in, there was like a moment where maybe there was a sense of trying to get a connection to you, and he was like about to say something when Max came in, and he got up and left.
right.
And I feel like he's trying
Yeah,
to open up. Yeah, he's trying to open up to you, but
Maybe your facial expression changes for a moment. Is it
Yeah.
something like that?
yeah,
Become
exactly.
more serious, maybe.
He looks at you with just concern, but like concern maybe about himself, about like kind of peering to either side about everything, but like specifically like he seems concerned as he looks at you.
So, can I get a bonus die or?
Yep,
Okay.
go for it.
Right. So I'll press the purple button then because it rolls.
That would be it.
Yeah. Oh, extreme. Wait. Yes. Extreme with a bonus die. Yes.
You guys are freaking rolling dynamos. Except maybe Johannes.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Can I, since I'm trying to establish a communication with Finlay, can I motion to him in that same expression that if he understands this, that he should shut up and not reveal it? That I'm bullshitting how I got this information?
It occurs to you that you could actually reach out and speak to Dr. Finlay without actually speaking.
Right. See, I don't really know how this all works, so I'm gonna. I think it's just this awkward moment when you realize all of this, Dr. Finlay, and then you just see his eyes kind of like And
Okay.
and in your head you will hear, speak avidly.
Yeah, roll.
Yeah.
Make you roll. Now, if you roll really good, hey.
Oh, God damn it.
Well, you just missed it.
Yeah, I did.
I didn't see.
Just
Sorry.
missed.
Okay.
I failed.
You fumbled it?
No,
Don't tell me you
no,
fumbled
I
it.
failed. I failed it.
Okay, so it's up to you. How much did you fail it by? Oh, a lot.
Yep.
Well, okay. It came across just like he said, Dr. Finley. It's just kind of, you hear it.
Yeah.
Private.
I couldn't hear anything, but I kind of got the feeling what he wanted to relay.
Yeah, but at the same time, it kind of, I need you to make kind of a bit of a sanity check. Sorry. Yeah, we're going to do that.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Yeah, I didn't expect that.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're hearing something out of the blue, just a voice popping in your head.
Extreme one. Makes sense.
You're like, well, okay, this is Lennox, so anything can happen with Lennox. So, all right.
I think that Lennox would notice the tip of the mustache twitch a little bit.
Well, yeah. Your telltale sign. Yes, indeed. Yeah. He kind of just nods and looks at Miss Playfair. I don't know. They just came at me, and I thought it's something that might pertain to the situation. Are there still any of the other? Did they take all the 4 bodies with them already, or are they still with?
Yeah, they're all gone. No. They're all gone. Yeah. Well, we're gonna say that within. All right. So when they left, no, they're still in the house. But probably within the next, right now, they're going to show up to basically take the bodies, and because they show up with a wagon.
Lennox rushes to the pile of the 4 bodies and just rips apart their shirts.
Okay.
Crap.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. It's literally the exact same that you saw in all of the others. The one that one you collected the sigils from. Yeah. So all right. So it's the exact same thing. So, and one of the bodies as you're ripping the shirt off, you see the sigils and you see the head twitch. Eyes pop open.
I smack him in the face.
Yeah.
Nothing happens. Eyes stay open. And you hear. You think that you want to know more, boy?
Lennox. So what the others see is Lennox reaching for their chin, pulling him up literally nose to nose. So you want to know more? I want to know what the fuck is happening. What the hell is going on here? Tell me! And squeezing the cheeks.
You actually don't hear. The voice doesn't actually come from out. It's now inside of your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you hear. Keep going the way you're going. I shall so much love to devour your soul. Tastes so sweet.
You will not get me, not this time. Oh no, you fucking moron, not this time. I hate you. And he can.
And about that time, you guys, whoever comes into the scene, you see him screaming at this dead body, and he just flops it on the ground, and
yep,
that's it. There's just nothing. The body, the guy's face, his eyes roll back in his head.
Yeah, and he straightens up his kind of code. I don't know why, but I saw them in my mind, and there they are, the symbols. A proud.
Alex, that's
puppy.
astonishing.
He found what he wanted to show you.
Dr. Finley, you immediately see one of the assailants that was just there, standing directly behind Johannes. He's raising up a machete, and he's about to strike. What do you do?
I will try to push Johannes out of harm's reach.
Okay.
And I will at the same time shout, yell, "Watch out!" And push him.
Okay. So you make a dexterity check for me, please.
Oh God, we're all going crazy here. Okay, extreme again.
Okay, extreme success. You literally push him out of the way. The machete is coming directly over. He's gonna square you directly in the forehead. He's gonna split your head wide open. You're convinced of it. This is the end of your life, and then it passes directly through you.
Okay,
The assailant, the cultist, is just looks. What's happening here? What's wrong? What's wrong? He passes the machete through his own hand. Am I dead? Am I dead? Mom? Mother? You hear me, don't you? Am I dead? Am I dead?
What is your name?
It doesn't matter what my name is. Am I dead?
I will tell you, but first tell me your name.
He's coming. He's going to come for me now.
Who's coming?
The master. He looks behind him, terrified of what's coming. I can't. He's gonna take my soul. And
Who
literally
is coming?
rip apart. His whole body just seems to the visage of him, the energy rips apart and explodes into this just streams of energy, and you hear a
Can I say?
yeah, the rest of you are just witnessing all this.
Mr. Finley, are you all right, Doctor?
Can I ask if Lennox kind of sees this and he just rushes and he runs through this as like this apparition disappears and he grabs him like,
well,
Finley.
You have the ability for what your ability is more for, but you do have the ability to sense certain things. So I'm going to have you roll on your roll, and trust me, those of you who actually make your roll for this special ability, please make sure to check mark because you want to improve this.
I'm going to spend 14 points of luck on this.
And you literally see this whole scene that Dr. Finley has seen in his own eyes develop, and just as you said, you come rushing forward just as the body just in energy in all different directions. You just kind of bathe yourself in the energy for a moment, looking around in amazement. You see this happen, Dr. Finley. He runs up. It appears that Lennox actually saw this. This is the first time that you don't feel like you're completely nuts.
And I think Lennox would, in this kind of, imagine the kind of like this, what is it? I want to say Silent Hill type of thing, where there's like brief quietness. He turns to Dr. Finley, and I think that's the moment that he tried to, or the connection that he tried to establish subconsciously or like slowly over now weeks and months of being close to somebody like Dr. Finley. And he just looks at him with this look of, he knows, and I know, and I understand. And he just lets his hands down to his sides and just looks at you like with,
I think for some reason, which not even Dr. Finley can realize now, he will embrace you and hug you. And I think well, he hasn't done that for ages, but I think he'll start crying, weeping on your shoulder.
I think Lennox will embrace that hug and do the same. And I think he will also start to shed some tears.
That's awesome. Okay, so Johannes,
you see this happening. What do you do?
Yeah, that's the first thing. I want to ask that part, see what you're doing with that, and then we'll get on to something else. But go ahead.
Miss Playfair, is this usual behavior for your compatriots?
I mean, they're Americans. You never know with them.
It's hilarious because I'm the only American here, but that's funny. Okay.
Well, they've both been through a lot with the shipwreck and the tonight, and I guess it must be their nerves getting the better of them.
Understandable.
No, I didn't realize they were so close.
So you seem to be a woman of science, and what do you make of these sigils? These.
Well, and I sort of give him a brief like interpretation of the ones that I've come across in my studies. I think I might not know the sigil of Laura's and the Norse compass, but the other ones I have an inkling about. So well, I've no idea what they're indicative of, and since they all have the same, I mean, this must be like the signs of their order, I presume. If we could find out what group they belong to, maybe we get an idea of why they took the doctor. I should presume that they're an opposing faction?
Or are they?
I mean, he did not want to go with them, did he?
But
I
we
don't
still
know.
don't
I
know.
honestly don't know.
We don't know if there's.
I know I didn't very much like either of them.
If there's two souls in the doctor. If there's one who was opposing the society and one who wasn't.
Gosh, I very, very much hope there was two. If that was the Dr. Bamford that I've known all along, and I've been fooled like that, I don't think I could live that down. But yeah, I don't know how to find out. I would suggest going back to his study and well, maybe we can just find out more. I mean, maybe not anything as juicy as that book you've got there, but just maybe something to. Well, maybe we can find out how he first got into these things, and the art collecting and all. There must be records of where he bought these artifacts, and he's the kind of these must have been pricey, and he's the kind of man who would keep bills and such.
We also should go down in the escape tunnel.
I really need to find Jessica. If the poor girl came to harm because of what I did, I don't think I could forgive myself. Do you think that Mr. Eric took her? I mean, took her along when he disappeared for whatever reason? They might have snuck up to the, I don't know where, to the stables or something for a tryst.
Okay.
I'm just grasping at straws. I don't know.
What do you guys want to do? How you want to do this?
All the searching, all at once.
Okay.
Please.
Mm-hmm.
I also think, and at some point, Lennox would kind of, tap on Dr. Finley's shoulder in a sense of recognition. We understand.
1 point.
Yep.
So you're gonna check all the entire house all at once, including the tunnel. Is that what you said? Is that what we're doing?
I think the tunnel. We've checked the house for people at least. I
Yep.
think the tunnel
And the
has
police
some
was here too.
precedence because we kind of wanna still save a person probably.
Right. Okay. So
Get a light. And
I'm thinking that when Max comes back, he'll still be on board with us trying to investigate this, because he didn't know what got into his father either. So
At least he,
Right.
At least he
Okay.
thinks so.
I'm hoping like having a closer look at the library will still be on the cards.
right.
Mhm,
Right.
mhm.
So you basically do another full scan of the entire manor, and you do get a couple of lanterns and go down into the tunnel. It is true, exactly as you were told, that it believe it or not, as soon as you get down in there, you find a switch, and there is electric lights down there that light the entire tunnel all the way across. So and so this is something that Dr. Bamford had put in some time ago, whenever electricity became a big thing, especially in the higher echelons of society. So yeah, you check all those things. Ultimately, no, you don't. There's nothing more that you really find or see at this point. Everything that you were to find here was pretty much found. So
But can we assume that that's how the staff got out? I mean, has the tunnel?
it's a
been
very
very-
good assumption. It's a very good assumption in that, but like I said before, it could also have been the exact way they all got in.
So the
No.
tunnel has an
But-
exit somewhere. That is
It does. It exits just before a creek. It's a quarter of a mile away. And if you follow the creek up about another.
Where's the exit?
Sorry. Oh yeah, there's prints. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
But
All right, make a
many of
spot.
them
Make,
sort of like general
make a spot.
trampling.
Make a spot hidden for me. You want to do well.
Well, that would be a whole lot of luck. I don't think I want to spend that.
Okay, I'll give you this one simply because it's kind of clearly evident. You literally see.
Let me put it that way. Is there Jessica-sized prints among the ones?
That's what I'm talking
I
about.
see?
I'm about to explain. So, yeah, you see a lot of men boot prints and a small set of clearly there's a female shoes. Normally the black shoes that are laced up. That's the standard Victorian style. That type of thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's what you clearly see. That you see the prints go off in the direction up towards the creek, and then you see hers disappear.
Disappear like
along with the others.
lifting up. There are signs of tracks. There's like card tracks or something. They just lift
No,
off.
you just see hers disappear, and the rest continue on. You can assume that more than likely they picked her up, hunched her over her shoulder,
Yikes.
and then kept walking. So you would no longer see the prints. So
But are they going away from civilization or towards like?
they go to the main road that leads into Bourton on the Water. And this road actually goes all the way across the Cotswolds, passes north just above Warwickshire and Bath, and on its way to London. It's about, well, you already came out here by train, which was about 2.5 hours roughly, and it'd be about the same thing, on the way back. Trains at this time period actually travel pretty damn fast, a lot faster than you would have imagined at the time period. They really do. I was like, wow, I learned a lot from this. So yeah.
But what about
You don't think if-
gravity? Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Nothing.
Oh.
Going that fast would kill you.
Yeah.
My poor Jessica.
She wouldn't have.
Can I-
She would have waited for us in the town, or
Can
Well,
we
you can
come with,
discern
back with the
that
police. If
that-
she's gone, she would have. It's probably against
They
her will,
must-
isn't it?
They must have kidnapped her, right? Yeah.
Can we just take a
I-
moment to think about actually who these perpetrators are? I mean, clearly, they didn't have the full intent of killing us. Their prime and sole target was Mr. Bamford, with no exception. We were just hindrance in their endeavor.
But if Jessica killed one of their friends with that frying pan, I mean, maybe
it
were
is a collateral.
getting their revenge on her.
We also killed and killed. I don't know. There seems to be a lot of issues. I mean, Ivan himself, he would have been killed more than over and over for the 4 bodies that he took down. Yet he is still alive. There seems to be a very concise idea in their mindset that they needed to have Mr. Bamford alive. I mean, they didn't shoot him, they didn't apprehend him any other way, but they wanted to have him alive. And they made sure that nobody interfered with their plan. I've encountered them in one of the corridors, and they stood there. They had knives and guns drawn, but they didn't shoot. They just made sure to show their presence. They made sure that I knew that they would shoot if I would come close. So they didn't have any intent to harm me, but they wanted this target. What? And don't get me wrong here, but I didn't trust. Well, I don't trust. I don't know who to trust, but I didn't know how to trust Mr. Bamford after he started to talk in tongues and in weird whatevers.
No.
So is that now a sign that we are on the good side, or are we on the bad side trying to support the bad people, or are we on the good side trying to hinder the are we on the bad side trying to hinder good people to do what is actually necessary in order to prevent something much larger at hand? What is it that is going on here?
I have to agree with you that they did have perfect shot to kill us multiple times, and they did not.
So that's not sensible for me. If there's, this only means that their intentional target was to procure Mr. Bamford.
Yes.
We were just collaterals.
I'd very much like my assistant and friend back. Thank you.
Yes. Somehow connected, and we'll figure this out. But don't you see the bigger picture here? We were coincidentally at the same time, place, and location where Mr. Bamford suddenly was not Mr. Bamford as you know him. And that's the same evening that a group of people decided to capture and to kidnap him.
When Dr. Bamford came to, he was wondering why we were even there.
He raises his hands and plays it.
So it wasn't the regular Bamford that has invited us here.
So why invite us in the first place if he didn't anticipate that we would give him some sort of protection, which would mean that the Bamford that we got to know was the alter ego of the Bamford that tried to seek protection from those goons. However, the original Bamford was a subconscious or suppressed mind of his.
Makes sense. This is what I believe happened here.
Good point.
You just see a bright smile at Lennox as he looks at you, like, finally somebody agrees and understands. And he's just so happy. And he's literally, he's tearing up. He's just looking at you. Yes, I do. It's not all just madness.
Okay. So
Oh, it is all madness. It's just not as yours madness. It's somebody else's madness.
We just have to take into account also the disappearance of our ex-colleague, Erik Lauritsen. Where did he go? Why did he disappear? Do you think he had something to do with tonight's invasion of his house by these assailants?
No,
Maybe he tried to fight them off by himself, and I don't
No,
know.
if-
Maybe he saw them coming. I have no idea.
but if we... Why would they have even tried to kidnap your companion, Miss Playfair? If they would seek harm to her, they would have killed her on the spot. Either they need some information from her, which is the reason why they kidnap her, or there is something more and they require her for something specific that they couldn't extract from her right now. But listen,
Sounds dire.
And the entire staff is gone. Do you think they were in on it?
If it was Bamford Star, let's call him Bamford Star persona that hired that staff, or it was a Bamford normal person who hired that staff, it could mean either way. We don't know.
Did I know any of the staff from my previous visits?
You knew the butler because he was very much, made sure that all of your everything that you needed. They had a maid.
Attention to a footman, would I recognize them? But just in case.
Nah, other than that, the actual footmen, valets, stuff like that. Nah, you wouldn't pay much attention to them. The butler, yes,
Well,
but everybody else
would know that though, or how long they've been in service.
Maybe, but he hasn't been there at the house for 3 years, so.
So the people that can confirm that something was amiss are the people missing. So everything that can confirm that either of the staff was in on it or not has disappeared. And Miss Playfair, I know she was with you for a long time, but and he kind of takes your hand and looks into your face like really carefully. How much do you trust her truly?
I mean, very much.
And you
She's
know
been
her
with me for almost 5 years. She was just a young thing fresh out of school then.
I trusted Barnaby also, and he abandoned me. You can only trust ourselves, no one else.
So now we got 2 servants who, after years of service, fall in disgrace by disobeying, distrusting their masters, distrusting their superior, their friends, if you might call them. And we have a group of
to
people.
The footprints indignantly. She was abducted, clearly. No
or was
disgrace.
she just tired to catch up?
No disgrace there.
Or was she just
Johannes,
too tired to run?
I need you to roll your special skill, please.
Oh.
Oh, ho, ho. We get to know Johannes' special. Oh, come on, come on.
I pay the 15 luck. Yes, I pay the 15 luck.
Yes.
You're thinking all of these things through, and everything that they're discussing, and you start to focus on the mental picture of Jessica Wainwright. You remember her smile, her eyes, the way they blue and blonde-haired, quite comely, quite beautiful. You remember her cameo that she had around her neck, ivory, the rings that she had on her fingers, some not too, shall we say, high-end, but pretty nonetheless. You remember her boots. And suddenly, as if your whole entire being were being transported into the sky, you have a waking vision, a flash in your mind. As you're literally across the night sky, you are flying at the speed of amazing speed, over hill, over dale, over trees, through woods, through a tunnel. And there you see, strapped to a table, Jessica Wainwright. You know exactly where she is. And then you hear, I thought I'd heard you guys around here. And behind you, you will all see a very large, bright light. And I've been out here looking for you folks for a while now. Tracked them out here, I have. Mm-hmm. And he lowers the light, and there, standing before you, is Captain Tom Sigurdsson, holding a shotgun,
Oh my goodness, no!
pipe in his mouth. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh boy, that was the last person I expected to when I show up.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
I don't forget nothing. So, at least I try not to. So
You nailed his voice too.
Yep.
Well, anyhow, everyone, so happy that you guys were able to join us. We had a great time today. I hope everyone here enjoyed the story. It's only heating up. It's getting more and more interesting as we go along. I think everybody's just kind of enjoying the ride. So am I, absolutely. So we'll set up a new time where we're going to be back for the next episode 3, and we'll see what happens next. In the meantime, you take care, stay safe, and we'll see you then.